years, the FanJet was developed to meet and exceed your expectations. As a thank you to their loyal growers, Bo Smith is offering a pre-season FanJet special. Go to your local authorized Bo Smith dealer for details. FanJet micro sprinklers manufactured in the Valley only by Bo Smith. Precision rain. Rain when you want it, where you want it. Remember, when you ask your dealer for FanJets, make sure you get Bo Smith. Beware of substandard foreign copycats. They don't work like authentic FanJets. Often imitated, never duplicated. FanJet micro sprinklers made only by Bo Smith in Exeter, California. American made, American owned. Visit your local authorized Bo Smith dealer to cash in on the preseason FanJet special.
Every small business owner knows business happens everywhere. The office, the warehouse, or on the road. And no matter where it takes you, there's one solution to help your business thrive. Comcast Business Complete Connectivity. It's the largest, fastest, reliable network with advanced gig speed Wi-Fi and cyber threat protection in one solution. Get started for just $49.99 a month. Plus, add Comcast Business Mobile and you can save up to 60% a year on your wireless bill. And ask how to get up to a $750 prepaid card.
Flight 291 is now aboard.
Yep, you're going places. And when you get there, be ready to do business. The complete connectivity solution from the company that powers more small businesses than any other provider. Comcast Business, powering possibilities.
Ends 2/21/2023. Restrictions apply. Requires EcoBill and AutoPay. New 50 megabits per second internet and Comcast Business Security Edge customers only. Equipment taxes and fees extra. After 12 months, regular rates apply. Gig internet required for gig Wi-Fi. Mobile savings compares pricing of top 3 carriers.
The original KMJ, 580 AM, 105.9 FM, Fresno, a Cumulus media station.
Partly sunny, 50 degrees at Radio City. It's 2 o'clock. I'm Liz Kern in the KMJ newsroom. President Joe Biden here in California. He landed at Moffett Field in Santa Clara County around noon today. Governor Gavin Newsom joined by Senator Alex Padilla and Representative Anna Eshoo at the airfield. They're touring storm damage along the California coast. Biden plans to meet with business owners and residents who are affected by storms. At around 3 today, they will be delivering remarks on the storm's disaster recovery from the 9 atmospheric rivers that occurred over 20 days. FEMA Administrator Deanne Criswell.
Where we're going today, there's 20 confirmed fatalities across the state, and that's just really devastating. When we're talking about homes that are impacted, but we're also talking about their livelihood, we're talking about the loss of life.
President Biden approved a FEMA major disaster declaration on Monday for Santa Cruz, Merced, and Sacramento counties. Yesterday, he added Monterey, San Luis Obispo, and Santa Barbara counties. Today, San Joaquin County has been added to that list. And under the president's order, as of today, the federal share has increased to 100% of the total eligible costs for debris removal and emergency protective measures. Clovis Unified will have a change of leadership. Superintendent Imir O'Brien announces she's leaving at the press conference held just before noon today. O'Brien says she needs to split time between Ireland and the U.S., where her children live.
I have an almost 85-year-old mother in Ireland who needs the love and care of her daughter. That's really what has prompted me to essentially make that decision at this time. Because I can tell you, I absolutely love my job.
O'Brien is retiring June 30th. Governing Board President David DeFrank says a special session is being held.
We will discuss various issues, including specific timelines and criteria and procedures for selecting the next superintendent.
And that takes place on Monday afternoon. A 46-year-old driver killed overnight in a high-speed crash in Fresno. The CHP spotted a speeding BMW just before 2 a.m. this morning, going more than 85 miles an hour and driving erratically on the 168 by Ashland Avenue. They tried to pull over the driver, but he took off at the interchange and they lost him. He was driving around 140 miles per hour. A short time later, the officers found the BMW crashed on the Ashland off-ramp. The man was thrown from the vehicle and died at the scene. It's not known if drugs or alcohol were a factor in that crash. The new FTX chief has given his first public interview since taking over. Fox's Lillian Wu has details.
New FTX chief John J. Ray III speaking in an interview for the first time since taking over, telling the Wall Street Journal he's open to the idea of rebooting operations at the bankrupt crypto exchange as he works to return money to the failed company's customers and creditors. Also that he's set up a task force to explore restarting FTX.com, explaining while its top executives have been accused of criminal misconduct, some customers have praised its technology and suggested there'd be value in rebooting the platform. Ray is best known for leading Enron during its bankruptcy and recovering more than $828 million for its creditors. Lillian Wu, Fox News.
The nation's largest farm organization and other groups sue the government over new rules dealing with water on cropland. KMJ's Ag Director Don York has the details.
The American Farm Bureau Federation is mounting a legal challenge to the New Waters of the U.S. rule. Farm Bureau joined 17 other organizations representing agriculture, infrastructure, and housing, as well as county and state farm bureaus in filing the suit. Farm Bureau believes the New Waters of the U.S. rule gives the federal government sweeping authority over private lands, and Farm Bureau thinks this isn't what the clean water regulations were intended to do. There's talk that the new rule is vague and creates uncertainty for farmers, even if they're miles from the nearest navigable water. Don York, KMJ News.
On Wall Street, the Dow ended down 252 points. Now here's Fox 26's Justin Willis with our Thursday forecast.
Freeze warning in effect for tomorrow morning goes from Merced County down past the west side of Fresno County. There's also a freeze watch for the entire San Joaquin Valley through Monday. Temps during this time could get as low as 28 degrees overnight on the valley floor. Otherwise, clearing skies today with highs right around 50. From the Fox 26 Weather Center for KMJ, I'm Justin Willis.
With news on the hour, on the half, and when it breaks, and always streaming at KMJNow.com. I'm Liz Kern, News Talk 580, 105.9 KMJ.
Taking a look at our Thursday afternoon traffic, all the Valley freeways are looking good. In Merced, southbound 99 at the Yosemite Parkway, a collision with no injuries. And in Porterville, 400 block of West Putnam, there has been a collision with minor injuries. With KMJ Traffic, I'm Ron McCary.
This report is sponsored by Discover. We could talk about how complicated other banks make it to redeem credit card rewards. Or we could talk about how with Discover, you can redeem your rewards for cash in any amount at any time. Talk about amazing. Learn more at discover.com/redeem rewards. Terms apply.
Now, the Valley's Afternoon Drive with Philip Teresi. Philip Teresi. Your calls, your tweets, and your voice are welcome right now on News Talk 580 1059 KMJ.
206 at News Talk 580 1059 KMJ. Good afternoon and welcome to the Thursday afternoon installment of your Afternoon Drive. Phone numbers are 490-5858. Toll free, you can join the show at 800-776-5858. Find us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at Drive KMJ and watch the show streaming live on YouTube, Facebook Live, and Twitch.tv, also at Drive KMJ. Joshua Weekly is standing by to screen your calls this afternoon as I extend congratulations to our old friend Skip. Today, Skip was on the receiving end of a proclamation from the Fresno City Council recognizing her and her work in the mental health field. And so it is Francis Skip Echeverria Day in the city of Fresno, courtesy of Fresno City Councilman Mike Carbasi. No, I'm not kidding, Ron. You're looking at me like I'm crazy. I'm dead serious. That really happened. If you want to see pictures, you can find them on Twitter at DriveKMJ. The city of Fresno kindly posting up a great group photo. A couple of old friends. Her fourth grade teacher was there. What does that say about her longevity in the community, her roots in Fresno? Her fourth grade teacher showed up for this thing. Our mutual first program director was there. It was a nice day. And if you want to see the proclamation, I know that the link will be available from CMAC eventually, because all day today on Community Media Access Collaborative Channel 3, it is the proceedings of the Fresno City Council, and I don't think they offer the watch back option until the whole day is done. So we'll share that link when we get to it. Congratulations to Skip. First time I've seen her since she left. Second week in November was the last time we had actually talked face-to-face. We exchanged a few text messages and stuff since then. It was the first time I've seen her. For those of you who are curious, her hair is now a very, very vivid purple. And, oh boy, this... I guess we can call it the Sunnyside Deli fire. If for no other reason than I think that's what the majority of people can readily identify the landmark there in southeast Fresno. A press conference yesterday with the Fresno Fire Department announced an increase in the reward to find the arsonists behind that fire. Crime Stoppers and Fresno Fire Arson are now offering $5,000. And then watch your help. 6 businesses were damaged. Again, this was January 6th. North side of Kings Canyon, just east of Clovis Avenue. Fire crews came out at 4:30 a.m., and that strip mall was already totally engulfed in flame. They know the fire started in one of the middle units. They know that it spread to the rest of that structure through the attic. They located surveillance footage showing 2 men breaking into the Blends Barber Lounge early that morning. So again, the reward money for information leading to the arrest in this has been bumped up to $5,000. And you can call it into Crime Stoppers, 498-STOP, or the Fresno Fire Arson tip line, 621-2776. 621-2776. Or, again, Crime Stoppers, 498-STOP. Now, I would be very surprised if the kind of person who is casually associated with an arsonist is a part of the KMJ audience. I'll be honest, it would surprise me a great deal. It's a better caliber of people around here. Nevertheless, I'm going to say it. If you know what happened, if you know who did this, if you recognize the people on that videotape, take the money, man. Look, they're going to get caught. Somebody is going to roll over on them. Somebody who needs the money, somebody who doesn't like them, somebody there's going to be some combination, and the stars are going to come into alignment. If you're out there and you know who these guys are, take the money. It's completely anonymous. 498-STOP. And if you don't know who these guys are, that's okay. And good for you for not trucking with suspected arsonists. But if you want to help out, Terry Clark Dance, Blends Barber Lounge, and Irish O'Sullivan's have all set up GoFundMes. The GoFundMe account that had been established by Sunnyside Deli the day after the fire to come up with money to help pay their employees while they're recovering from this. Sunnyside actually closed theirs down. They hit and exceeded their goal, and rather than just keep on taking money from big-hearted folks, they did stop their GoFundMe for now. But Terry Clark Dance, Blends Barber Lounge, and Irish O'Sullivan's all still have their GoFundMes running. All could use a little bit of help, and you'll find the links to all 3 of those at kmjnow.com. And a reminder, Sunnyside Pharmacy talked with our news partner, Fox 26, and while Sunnyside Pharmacy is not physically standing, they didn't lose the data and prescriptions. None of their customer files were lost. They will continue to fill any prescriptions for Sunnyside Pharmacy customers through their Selma location, the Fox Drug Store. So again, if you got questions, head over to kmjnow.com. We've got all the details, the number to collect the reward, information about the Fox Drug Store, and links to the GoFundMe accounts to help out the folks from Terry Clark Dance, Blends Barber Lounge, and Irish O'Sullivan's. Now, you guys know Davos is underway. The wealthy, the well-heeled, the well-connected, convening to determine how you and I will be allowed to live our lives in the years going forward. If you haven't heard it yet, the former Vice President of the United States of America was on the stage at Davos talking about the environment. And he had some comments that I think, if you want to hear the level of discourse Here we go.
Thank you, Mr. Mackey, students of South Park Elementary. I'm here to educate you about the single biggest threat to our planet. You see, there is something out there which threatens our very existence and may be the end to the human race as we know it. I'm talking, of course, about Man-Bear-Pig.
Man-Bear-Pig?
It is a creature which roams the earth alone. It is half man, half bear, and half pig. Some people say that Man-Bear-Pig isn't real. Well, I'm here to tell you now, Man-Bear-Pig is very real, and he most certainly exists. I'm Cereal. Man-Bear-Pig doesn't care who you are or what you've done. Man-Bear-Pig simply wants to get you. I'm Super Cereal. But have no fear, because I am here to save you. And someday, when the world is rid of Man-Bear-Pig, everyone will say, "Thank you, Al Gore. You're super awesome."
Oh, wait. That wasn't the unhinged rant from Davos. You'll have to forgive me. I got confused. They're a little difficult to differentiate one from the other.
We're going to bring these emissions down. And just to put the science in a slightly different context, people are familiar with that thin blue line that the astronauts bring back in their pictures from space. That's the part of the atmosphere that has oxygen, the troposphere, and it's only 5 to 7 kilometers thick.
It's not the only part of the atmosphere that has oxygen, or your plane would have crashed on the way to Davos. Also, it's twice that thick, Mr. Vice President.
That's what we're using as an open sewer. If you could drive a car straight up in the air at interstate highway speeds, you'd get to the top of that blue line in 5 minutes. And all the greenhouse gas pollution would be below you. We're still putting 162 million tons into it every single day. And the accumulated amount is now trapping as much extra heat as would be released by 600,000 Hiroshima-class atomic bombs exploding every single day on the Earth. That's what's boiling the oceans, creating these atmospheric rivers and the rain bombs, and sucking the moisture out of the land and creating the droughts and melting the ice and raising the sea level and causing these waves of climate refugees predicted to reach 1 billion in this century. Look at the xenophobia and political authoritarian trends that have come from just a few million refugees. What about 1 billion? We would lose our capacity for self-governance on this world. We have to act. So in answer to your question, I would say we have to have a sense of urgency much greater than we have yet had, and we need to make some changes.
Now, besides my concern that his blood pressure is going to reach a critical level, did anybody else expect him to conclude, and in answer to your question, I'll have the chicken?
The end.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Gore.
Thank you, class. Excelsior!
Why is he still getting invited to this stuff? Why is he... Do they put him up there as entertainment? Is this one of those, like, kind of funky mean girls laughing at you, not with you moments where the Richie Riches grab somebody who used to have a seat at the table or at least a place in the room and let them go bananas on stage? When we get back, we'll break down a little bit more of Al Gore, climate scientist, and the facts. I'm not here to play climate denier and tell you that there isn't something going on, because there's something going on. And I think that at least some of it you can point to people as being behind it. But there is a difference between acknowledging that the fact that we are here has an effect on the world, and we're boiling the oceans by releasing the equivalent of 6,000 Hiroshima bombs every day into the atmosphere. And again, the troposphere, that's where the oxygen is. Apparently, you and I have been breathing nitrogen this entire time. And big science, Anthony Fauci was lying to us about it. More on what's wrong with Al Gore's brain when we get back. It's the Afternoon Drive on KMJ. Stick around.
Taking a look at Thursday afternoon traffic, a couple of incidents here in the Hanford area, the 6600 block of West Lacey. There's been a collision, no injuries. At Idaho and 17th, traffic hazard of some sort. In Porterville, the 400 block of West Putnam, a collision with minor injuries. And in the Merced area, southbound 99 and Yosemite Parkway, there has been a collision, no injuries involved there. With KMJ Traffic, in for Greg Lane, I'm Ron
For
McCary.
more than 2 decades, the Business Journal has been the comprehensive source for business news in Fresno, Kings, Madera, and Tulare counties. We deliver the Valley's most important business stories in print, online at thebusinessjournal.com, and to email inboxes via our daily update and morning roundup newsletters. The Business Journal has won dozens of local, state, and national awards for its news coverage, design, and web development. Communication with the Fresno Business Journal can have a positive impact on your company's bottom line. Readers of the Business Journal are affluent and influential. Collectively, they lead and manage about 50% of the metro area's total employees. Readers of the Business Journal make personal and professional buying decisions every day. Advertising in the Business Journal influences people with influence. Call their marketing people today at 490-3422 and stay ahead of your competition. That's 490-3422. Or email Abner Garcia at abner@thebusinessjournal.com.
Susan, I'm sorry I'm late. Traffic is terrible.
It sure is. But on top of that, gas prices have been skyrocketing. I can't believe how expensive gas has gotten recently.
Prices at the pump are up, but I never pay full price for gas anymore. I just use the free Upside app that pays you cash back for every gallon of gas you buy.
Wait a minute. Are you saying you actually get paid cash when you buy gas with the Upside app?
Yes, I get real cash back every time I buy gas.
And does that actually add up to anything?
I've made around $200.
Wow, that's serious extra cash. I'm downloading the free Upside app now.
Download the free Upside app to earn real cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code CLEAN for an extra 25 cents per gallon cash back on your first fill-up. You can cash out anytime right to your bank account, to PayPal, or any gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code CLEAN for a 25 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code CLEAN for 25 cents per gallon cash back on your first fill-up.
Here's the unfiltered truth about water softeners. Softeners add sodium without filtering water. Softeners are old-fashioned, costly, and maintenance-heavy. There's a better solution, a LifeSource salt-free water system. LifeSource systems provide filtered, delicious water from every tap without filters or any maintenance. LifeSource salt-free systems are perfect for areas banning softeners, and that's the unfiltered truth. Call 559-330-1850 for a free consultation or visit lifesourcewater.com. LifeSource, taste and feel the difference.
I always wanted to learn Spanish, but I never thought I'd have the time. Then I discovered Babbel.
Babbel's lessons are fun. They only take like 10 or 15 minutes, and in 3 weeks, presto, you're starting to speak another language, like magic.
I love that Babbel's lessons aren't just robots talking. They're voiced by native speakers, so you get the pronunciation just right.
If you want to learn a language, there's no faster, easier, better way than
Babbel.
Babbel.
Babbel. Go to babbel.com to try for free. That's BABBEL.com. Babbel.com.
Chris Daniel for Breadcrumb Cybersecurity. Has your organization fallen victim to cyber attack? Are you dealing with suspicious employee activity? Do what other organizations have already done and call Breadcrumb Cybersecurity. From complex cybercrime to data breach and fraud, the experts at Breadcrumb deliver results, period. Call them today, 559-578-4800, 578-4800, or go online to breadcrumbcyber.com, because evidence is everywhere.
NEM 3.0 is on the horizon, and change is coming. Call Solar Negotiators today to find out how you can lock in your savings under California's current solar policy. Speak with a consultant today to get pre-qualified for a zero-down, low-interest rate loan and go 18 months with no payments. Go solar with confidence through Solar Negotiators, your lifetime energy partner. To learn more about NEM 3.0 or to get a free quote, visit solarnegotiators.com.
2:22 on your afternoon drive. It's News Talk 580, 105.9 KMJ. I'm Philip Teresi. Appreciate you hanging out this afternoon. Phone's open for your calls at 490-5858 or toll free at 800-776-5858. Talking about Al Gore. He is back at it, this time on the stage at Davos, the World Economic Forum, where the rich and the powerful get together to discuss, to mull over, to begin to establish the globalist agenda. And when people talk about globalism, there's always this question mark. Are we dealing with tinfoil hattery? And every year there's a couple of get-togethers that bear more scrutiny than they get, that deserve more attention than they get. But it's only the goofy stuff like this. And the fact that this video is circulating so publicly leads me to my suspicion that some of these people, like Al Gore, are brought in to talk to this group not because they're expected to offer enlightenment or a bold path forward. I think the last hope of Al Gore being a leader probably fell with the last of the Chad in 2000. Good Lord. So he gets on stage and he starts talking about that thin blue line that astronauts bring back in their pictures from space, the troposphere. Again, this is a guy who wants to tell you how to live your life and how to restrict yourself so as to achieve the climate goals that he believes are necessary to save the world. And I got to be honest. I have to be honest with you. I do believe that there is an effect caused by human beings existing. There's an awful lot of us. We've built an awful lot of stuff that didn't exist 100 years ago. I think that it's silly to pretend that that has no effect. I also think that telling you and me that we need to take 2.5-minute showers and all drive electric cars while China and Russia and Al Gore continue to spew pollution into the air and into the environment at a rate that the entirety of the American population couldn't match in a decade is completely backwards. But he starts, again, the authority, Al Gore, starts with the troposphere. That's the part of the atmosphere where the oxygen is. And it's only 5 to 7 kilometers thick. Troposphere is twice that thick. And there's plenty of oxygen in the stratosphere, too. If there wasn't, the plane that Al Gore chartered to get to Davos wouldn't have gotten there because they operate with combustion engines that require oxygen. Next up is the claim that the carbon dioxide trapped in the atmosphere is trapping as much heat as would be released by 600,000 Hiroshima bombs released on Earth every day. Gore says that's what's boiling the oceans, creating these atmospheric rivers, and the rain bombs, I don't even know what that is, and sucking the moisture out of the land and creating droughts and melting the ice. So the Hiroshima comparison, it looks like it came from a calculation from the UK paper The Guardian that had to do with the warming of the oceans measured in any single year. The problem with this isn't so much the amount of energy he's talking about as the concentration of energy that he's talking about. If you compare the amount of solar energy that hits the Earth every day with the amount of energy released by the Hiroshima bomb, it's something like 500 trillion times more solar energy than what the Hiroshima bomb releases. If you concentrate all that energy in one place, oh yeah, you'll burn a hole right through the planet, no problem. Now, I don't need to get facetious about whether or not the oceans are literally boiling, but he then gets into this idea of 1 billion refugees, and that the result of that movement of human capital would result in us losing our capacity for self-government. Now, look, do I agree that environmental change will drive immigration, will drive refugee movement? Yep, I do. I think that is a worthwhile consideration. And I think that securing our border and improving the rules for immigration and guest workers and refugees and asylum seekers, it absolutely needs to be accomplished. And I've been beating that drum for as long as I've been talking into a microphone. Our Congress isn't doing its job. They continue to, one side tells you, oh, the bad guys are going to get you and throw you out of the country. The other side says, oh, the bad guys are going to take your money and give it to a bunch of folks that snuck in without doing the paperwork. And our immigration system's completely screwed up. It's not serving we, the American people. It is also not serving the refugees and the asylum seekers and the good old-fashioned, I'm looking for an opportunity immigrants. Our system is messed up. 1 billion refugees would be a nightmare. They're not all going to show up at the border at Calexico. We need to legislate, we need to prepare, and we need to make sure that other countries are carrying their fair share as well, as if though that were our job. Later on, he goes to he makes the claim that the World Bank is led by a climate denier. Now, the guy who leads World Bank, David Malpass, was quoted in an interview with CNN a couple of years ago saying, and I quote, "It's clear that greenhouse gas emissions are coming from man-made sources, including fossil fuels, methane, agricultural uses, and industrial uses, and so we're working hard to change that." The issue seems to be in the mind of Al Gore that when Gore asked him, really tried to pressure him into co-signing Al Gore's version of environmentalism, Malpass passed. He said, "I'm not a climate scientist," which leads to Al Gore doing that thing that politicians do when you don't immediately acquiesce, calling you a denier if you challenge anything they say. I don't know what his game is. I don't know if this is about making money. I don't know if this is a sincere, if somewhat illiterate attempt to save the world. I don't understand why he's being invited to speak in a forum where half of the people in the room have either been directly or indirectly insulted by him for failing to embrace, again, boiling oceans and a gross misunderstanding of the makeup of the atmosphere he claims to be trying to save. I guess crazy's going to crazy. When you hear this, do you have a reaction, or is it just kind of a shoulder shrug, a point and laugh, an eye roll, there goes the dumpster fire, Al Gore, hope he doesn't stroke out right there on stage moment? If you got a take on this, I'd love to hear it. 490-5858 is the number. Right now, we've got an update of headlines with Liz Kern in the KMJ newsroom.
News now.
President Joe Biden here in California touring storm damage along the California coast. He's going to meet with business owners and residents who have been affected by the destructive storms. Governor Gavin Newsom and Senator Alex Padilla and Representative Anna Eshoo are with the president. In about a half an hour, they're going to be speaking about the California storm disaster recovery efforts. In Washington today, Homeland Security Secretary Alejandro Mayorkas says his department is working to secure America's borders amid a broken immigration system. Fox's Griff Jenkins is in Eagle Pass, Texas, with more.
Now, the sector chief for the Border Patrol here, Jason Owens, putting out a notice saying that in the last 6 days, nearly 7,000 apprehensions, over 3,400 gotaways, along with 74 smuggling cases. A migrant was killed crossing the road today. We're told from officials the migrant that died was a 17-year-old from Guatemala. That's what documents on his person showed, although there was no picture ID, so that matter is under investigation.
Mayorkas also said migrant encounters are down since the Biden administration expanded pathways for certain migrants to claim asylum earlier this month, while increasing the use of expedited removal. Singer-songwriter-guitarist David Crosby has died.
It's all right. Little darling, It's been a long, cold, lonely winter. Little darling, it feels like years since it's been here.
That is from 2009, and Paul Simon, David Crosby, and Graham Nash were performing a cover of the Beatles song Here Comes the Sun at the 25th anniversary of the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Crosby was a founding member of two popular and enormously influential 60s rock units, the Byrds and Crosby, Stills, and Nash, which later became Crosby, Stills, Nash, and Young. David Crosby was 81 years old. On Wall Street, the Dow ended down 252 points, closing at 33,044. The S&P 500 lost 30 points. NASDAQ dropped 104. It's 2:33 right now at KMJ. Valley weather, partly sunny, 50 at Radio City. Fox 26's Justin Willis has more of our Thursday forecast.
Clearing skies this afternoon with highs right around 50. And then we have a freeze warning in effect for tomorrow morning. Goes from Merced County down past the west side of Fresno County. There's also a freeze watch for the entire San Joaquin Valley through Monday. Temps during this time could get as low as 28 degrees overnight on the valley floor. For KMJ from the Fox 26 Weather Center, I'm Justin Willis.
With news on the hour, on the half, and when it breaks, and always streaming at KMJNow.com. I'm Liz Kern, News Talk 580, 105.9 KMJ.
Well, first, the good traffic news. All the freeways are running smoothly in the Fresno-Clovis metro area and north and south and east and west. In Madera, northbound 99 west of the Cleveland off-ramp, there is a traffic hazard of some sort, not specific here. Fresno area, southbound 99, just south of the 180, there is a stalled vehicle at the side of the road, causing a few problems there. With KMJ Traffic, I'm Ron McCary.
This report is sponsored by BestRV.com.
They're having a giant blowout sale the entire month of January at Best RV Center.
From Class A, B, and C motorhomes to travel trailers, you name it, they have it. A great selection, great prices, no hidden fees at Best RV Center. Learn more at BestRV.com.
Hey everybody, it's Philip Teresi for GetANewBit.com. By now you've heard about investing in crypto and you're probably excited by the reward potential, but maybe you want to know more about how it works before you jump in. Head over to GetANewBit.com. That's GetANewBit.com and do your own research. Learn about a local company changing how crypto makes you money and how businesses can keep more of their profits by accepting a new bit. And yes, you heard that right. A local team building a coin that shares revenue with every holder, saves businesses a boatload on processing fees, and builds on the best technology in the game. Visit GetANewBit.com to start doing your homework. GetANewBit.com. This ad does not constitute financial or professional advice. Consult your professional financial advisor before making any personal decisions or investing. Team Anubit wants to do this right. Every investment carries some risk. Do your diligence. And if you have questions, email the Anubit team. They make it easy. Get started at GetANewBit.com.
My brother-in-law died suddenly, and now my sister and her kids have to sell their home. That's why I told my husband we could not put off getting life insurance any longer. An agent offered us a 10-year, $500,000 policy for nearly $50 a month. Then we called SelectQuote. SelectQuote found us identical coverage for only $19 a month, a savings of $369 a year.
Whether you need a $500,000 policy or a $5 million policy, SelectQuote could save you more than 50% on term life insurance.
For your free quote, call SelectQuote at 1-800-929-2121. That's 1-800-929-2121. Or go to SelectQuote.com. 1-800-929-2121. That's 1-800-929-2121.
SelectQuote. We shop. You save. Full details on example policies at selectquote.com/commercials.
This report is sponsored by Blindster.com.
Hi, I'm Kyle at Blindster.com. I sell custom-made blinds, shades, and shutters that are easy to install at prices less than big box retailers. Blindster blinds are custom-made for your windows, and I guarantee they'll fit. Don't hire a pro. Do it yourself and save big at Blindster.com.
Former Navy SEAL Sean Ryan shares real stories from real people from all walks of life on The Sean Ryan Show. Wealth strategist Rob Luna.
If you could solve a problem in this world better than anyone else, you're going to make a lot of money. And that's really what a business's ultimate goal is, whether it's your business or a manufacturing business. It's about solving a problem, making a bigger impact in people's lives than anyone else on scale.
I mean, I've been trying to scale my business, but I can't find somebody to conduct these interviews.
Yeah. The Sean Ryan Show on YouTube or wherever you listen.
Your calls, your tweets, and your voice are welcome right now.
First, thank you very much for all you do, and thank you for personally inspiring me.
The Valley's Afternoon Drive with Philip Teresi on News Talk 580 1059 KMJ.
2:38 on your afternoon drive. Listen live worldwide at KMJNow.com. And of course, if you miss any part of the show, get the podcast on the podcast tab at KMJNow.com. We're going to hear so much about the debt ceiling on the evening news tonight. And probably for a day or two, this is going to be the biggest economic news, I would say, in the world. But certainly here in the United States, you're going to continue to hear debt ceiling, debt ceiling, debt ceiling. And you'll see the opportunists, the politicians, pointing back and forth across the aisle, blaming one another for not resolving the issues that lead to us having once again crashed into the debt ceiling cap. So what is it? In plain English, it's a limit on the amount of money that the United States government can borrow to pay its debts. Every year, Congress passes a budget that includes government spending on infrastructure, programs like Social Security, salaries for federal workers. Congress also taxes you and I to pay for all of that because the government doesn't produce anything. They just take money from us. For many years now, the government has been spending more than it takes in from taxes and whatever other revenue that exists. So that has increased the federal deficit. That's that 22, what are we at 22, $24 trillion in debt in this country? So in order to continue to pay the bills that Congress has already okayed, the government borrows money. The debt ceiling is the limit on how much money the government can borrow to pay its bills. Now, imagine that for a moment from the perspective of your household budget. We all make a salary. We've all got expenses. Most of us are still paying for housing. All of us are paying through the nose for power right now. Got to buy food. And there's all of the myriad things that we've got that may or may not be truly necessary. Internet access, telephone service, streaming video service. You got a gardener, a pool guy, on and on and on. Now, I don't know about you, but my ideal, my preference is to pay cash, to always pay cash for what I'm doing. Now, sometimes that literally means the green folding stuff you get out of the ATM. Sometimes that means swinging the debit card. But my goal is to always spend less than I make. But occasionally, stuff happens. And so there's the Visa card. And you know what I'm talking about. How many of us right now are thinking about the Visa card, the savings account, and whether or not to skip date night this month because we're looking at the potholes on our commute and thinking about the very real possibility that at some time in the next 30 days, you're gonna have to buy a couple of tires. I drove back and forth to downtown today, and I got to tell you guys, it crossed my mind at least twice. Also, almost spilled my coffee at least once. So that credit card for you and I, that's our debt ceiling. Whatever we've got. Maybe you've got a HELOC. Maybe you've got credit cards. Maybe you got a personal line of credit. Yeah, there's a million little different ways that we can go out and we can borrow. But somewhere in there's a limit. There's a number. And for those of you that have the Centurion card and that's not the case, congratulations. Imagine the trouble one could get into if one could simply say, nah, I need to borrow more money. I'm going to borrow more money. Yeah, nope, spent that money too. Yeah, no, I'm making the minimum payment, but I need to borrow more money because, bought a car, remodeled my kitchen, went to Disneyland, got to raise that limit. There isn't a bank in the world that would allow that. If your credit's good enough, once or twice you can bump that thing up. If your credit's really, really good, you can probably get a bank to loan you a tremendous amount of money. Other than the tremendous amount of money that we all borrow to pay for our houses and our children's college educations. So the debt ceiling is supposed to be the government's credit limit. We hit the credit limit. We're done. Again, if you and I hit the credit limit and then you walk into anything from the habit to buy a cheeseburger to Fresno Acura to buy an RDX, if you hit the limit and you swipe that card, what happens? Sorry, sir. It appears that your card is at its limit. You're not going to be able to make this purchase today. But this is the federal government. So what happens if they start to get that, sorry, it appears that you have exceeded your credit limit? Social Security payments could be stopped or delayed. That's 15 million seniors not getting their monthly income. 30 million families stop receiving the president's expanded child tax credit payments. Our service members, the military, our soldiers, our sailors, our Marines could stop receiving their paychecks. Veterans' benefits could be stopped or delayed. Postal workers and other federal employees stop getting their paychecks. The credit worthiness of the country could be downgraded, which would cause a spike in interest rates, which would push mortgage, car, and credit card rates even further upwards. And if you start to create doubt in the dollar, you can tank the markets. The last debt ceiling standoff shaved 17% off of the S&P 500. All that work that FEMA's doing all around us right now, Merced, Mariposa, out on the coast, that money goes away. Public health funding for pandemic mitigation goes away. All those free COVID tests, bye-bye. And then child nutrition programs and federal food assistance go away. One firm, Moody's, says that even a long impasse over the debt ceiling could cause the loss of 6 million jobs and increase the unemployment rate as high as 9%. Right now we're at 5.2. And you could see the stock market start to lose value. Could this be worse than just a flat-out government shutdown? Yeah, actually it can, because this isn't failing to approve a spending bill for a new year. We saw that, 2019. A lot of federal employees were furloughed, and we had a dip in the markets, but we've never defaulted on our credit. And we've never had to suspend all previously approved government programs before, which would absolutely cause economic shock throughout the economy. So what's being done besides, revisiting the budget to make sure that we're living within our means as a country and paying down our debts so as to avoid crashing into the debt ceiling year after year after year? What are we doing besides stealing wealth from our future selves and our grandchildren? Well, Congress is going to fight about it. We'll talk a little bit about how that's shaping up when we get back on the afternoon drive at News Talk 580 and 105.9 KMJ.
And taking a look at Thursday afternoon traffic, the Fresno-Clovis Metro freeways and north, south, east, and west freeways are running smoothly. Hanford, Lacey Boulevard and 16th, there's been a hit and run with no injuries. And at Highway 41 at the 22 Mile House northeast of Fresno, there is a traffic hazard with no details. With KMJ Traffic, I'm Ron McCary.
This report is sponsored by Blindster.com.
Hi, I'm Kyle, and my company is Blindster.com. I started Blindster in 2010 to provide custom blinds, shades, and shutters at affordable prices. Our blinds are easy to install and shipping is free. Don't hire an expensive professional. Do it yourself and save big at Blindster.com.
Are you ready for some hockey? Come cheer on your Fresno Monsters as they bring hockey back to downtown Fresno for one special weekend. Solid Arena will host your Fresno Monsters as the Battle of 99 brings the Bakersville Roughnecks to Fresno. February 2nd, 3rd, and 4th. You can purchase tickets at the Solid Arena box office in downtown Fresno or online at Ticketmaster.com. Game tickets are now on sale. Valentine's Day jerseys on Saturday, February 4th. Go to FresnoMonsters.com for more information. See tomorrow's hockey stars today. Be part of the excitement in downtown Fresno, Central Valley. Are you ready for some hockey?
Fresno Monsters Hockey.
Get your tickets now at the Solid Arena box office in downtown Fresno or online at Ticketmaster.com. Cumulus Media Fresno proudly supports your Fresno Monsters.
Fresno Monsters Hockey. Built for revenge.
I'm Dr. Erica Pond with the California Department of Public Health. This winter, remember to protect yourself against COVID-19 and other winter viruses by getting your flu shot and COVID booster, testing for COVID if you feel sick, contacting your doctor about treatment if you test positive for COVID, and considering masking up in indoor public places. More tips at covid19.ca.gov. Brought to you by CDPH.
American Pistachio Growers invites you to join them for the 2023 Pistachio Industry Annual Conference. APG welcomes pistachio growers, processors, and other industry professionals to the largest gathering of its kind. The 2023 Pistachio Industry Annual Conference takes place February 27th through March 1st at the Omni La Costa Resort and Spa in beautiful Carlsbad, California. This year's conference includes 3 power-packed days of education, networking, and collaboration as the industry gathers to discuss the latest crop year and the outlook of the pistachio industry. The conference will include a presentation by expert global economic forecaster and former CNBC chief economist Marcy Rosell, and a special address by award-winning entrepreneur and star of ABC's Shark Tank, Damon John. So secure your registration today by calling 559-475-0435 or online at apgannualconference.com. That's apgannualconference.com. Hope to see you there.
Attention. If you've been classified as a high-risk driver due to DUI, DWI, or tickets for aggressive driving and are required to get expensive and hard-to-find SR22 auto insurance, then you must listen to this message because Serenity can help. We're the largest insurance company in the U.S., specializing in SR22 auto insurance and focused on serving the needs of customers classified by the state as high-risk drivers. We help people get back on their feet by providing easy-to-get, low-cost SR22 insurance that anyone can afford. If you need SR22 auto insurance, or if you have it now and are paying too much, you need to call us today for your free quote at 800-279-7816. Our specialists are standing by waiting for your call. We understand people make mistakes, and we're here to help by making SR22 insurance easy to get and affordable for everyone. The call and quote are free. Call us now at 800-279-7816. That's 800-279-7816. Again, 800-279-7816.
You're never going to change, are you? How can I trust you anymore? One minute you're hot, the next you're cold. They warned me about you. I thought if I just believed in you, we'd prove everyone wrong. But you're just broken. I can't do this anymore. I need to call Lee's Air Plumbing and Heating.
Lee's Air Plumbing and Heating? How may I help you?
I just broke up with my heater.
I see, ma'am. We get that a lot this time of year. If you purchase a new HVAC system, we'll trade your ex-heater for $1,000.
I don't know if I'm strong enough.
Without a doubt, ma'am. Here at Lee's Air Plumbing and Heating, we offer 0 interest and no payment for 18 months with no monthly payment. same as cash.
Finally! My happy ending!
Anytime, ma'am. Just call us at 559-296-9555 to request a free estimate. CLN 635-355.
2023 is going to be an interesting year as political heavyweights set their sights on the White House. Trump, DeSantis, Pence. And what about President Biden? Will he run again?
These guys, they don't quite get it.
And what about Governor Newsom? He says he's not running, but can we believe him?
In every way, none of this is a surprise.
You'll get the answers right here on News Talk 580 1059 KMJ and streaming at KMJNow.com.
It's nearly 3 o'clock at News Talk 580 1059 KMJ. I'm Philip Teresi. Appreciate you hanging out with me this afternoon. Phone's open for your calls, 490-5858 or toll free 800-776-5858. So we have reached the debt ceiling. We have reached our borrowing limit as a nation. So the federal government can pay most of its bills with the tax and other revenue that it brings in. But right now, the congressional debt ceiling, guys, this doesn't make me happy at all. Our debt ceiling is $31.4 trillion. Boy, I thought our national debt was still in the 20s. $31.4 trillion. It's just it's a mind-bending sum of money. It's not a number that any of us could ever even hope to connect with emotionally. It's insurmountable. It's insurmountable as anything other than an academic exercise. So here's the thing. Republicans in the House say that they will continue to insist on spending cuts in exchange for their cooperation in raising the debt ceiling. Democrats, under the tutelage of President Grandpa, want a so-called clean hike. They don't want to make any concessions on spending, and they're saying, the Democrats say, they're not going to negotiate. Again, to take it back to that household math, that kitchen table budgeting. There will be times in all of our lives where, due to circumstances beyond our control, we have to spend beyond our means. Maybe there's an issue and your car gets wrecked. Maybe there's a pothole and you got to go buy tires you weren't planning on buying. Maybe you just found out your kid's going to have to get braces. You know, for some people, a couple of $100 is an emergency. For some people, hundreds of thousands of dollars is not a infringement on their standard of living. But however many zeros you put after it, at a certain point, if you do not stop spending beyond your means, you will crash into a limit imposed by your banks, imposed by your credit rating, imposed by your net worth. Now, I can't even begin to estimate what the actual net worth of the United States is. Suffice to say, it's a damn sight more than $30 trillion. But we have reached a point where there is no excuse for continuing to spend as recklessly as the Democrats want to continue to spend. It is absolutely time to start making those cuts. Maybe not even in every segment of the budget, but we have to live within our means. We have to do it as citizens. We have to do it as homeowners. We have to do it as parents, as business owners, as entrepreneurs. And sure as anything, the government of the United States has to begin to do the same. The Republicans are right on this, and the Democrats in Congress need to hear it. There is no call for a clean hike. It is time for this country to start spending responsibly. We are robbing ourselves. We are robbing our children and our grandchildren. And for what?
Missed part of the show? Get the Afternoon Drive podcast at kmjnow.com or by searching KMJ's Afternoon Drive in TuneIn Radio or Google Podcasts.
Wendy's without the Wendy's app is like Nugs without the sauce. Or a Frosty without the fries. Or a hamburger without the fresh beef. No! Level up. Get the app to order ahead, order delivery, earn free food, and get app-exclusive offers. One app, all the Wendy's.
Offer for a limited time at participating Wendy's. Terms apply. App registration required. Fresh beef available in the contiguous U.S., Alaska, and Canada.
Ransomware, wire fraud, breaches. You're talking about it for your business already. How could you not be? These are nation-based bad actors, criminal cartels, the same ones who target government and Fortune 500 companies are targeting you. It's time for the next step in protecting your company. It's time to call Breadcrumb. Trusted by law enforcement and nationally recognized, the team at Breadcrumb delivers results, period. Go now to breadcrumbcyber.com because evidence is everywhere.
Chlorinated water is for swimming, not drinking or bathing. Cities add chlorine to your water, causing dry skin and hair. A LifeSource water system is the solution to your water worries. A LifeSource system filters your water from every tap, reducing the harsh taste and feel of chlorine and giving you softer skin and hair without maintenance, no salt, filters, or servicing. Call 559-330-1850 for a free consultation or visit LifeSourceWater.com. LifeSource, taste and feel the difference.
Hi, everyone, and welcome. If you've been injured in an accident that was not your fault, listen up. We have legal professionals standing by to answer your questions for free. They'll tell you if you have a case and how much it's potentially worth. Call 800-843-4202 now. I'm here with spokesman for the firm, John Wolf. So, John, tell everyone listening who should call in.
Well, Maria, first off, thank you for having me here with you. We always enjoy answering the listeners' questions. Now, as far as who should call in, anyone who's been injured in an accident that was not your fault, give us a call right now. We have legal professionals standing by to answer your questions and tell you how much your case is potentially worth. Call 800-843-4202.
Thanks, John. You heard it, folks. Take advantage of this opportunity and call now to speak with a live agent for free. Call 800-843-4202.
Advertisement sponsored by Legal Help Center. May not be available in all states.
Give mealybugs an inch, they'll take an acre. Mealybugs can move through your vineyard quickly. So, you have to stop mealybug damage early. That's why you should apply Applaud Insect Growth Regulator at Delayed Dormant. Applaud will control overwintering nymphs and hatching eggs, which will reduce mealybug populations to more manageable levels in season. If you want clean grapes, stop mealybugs before they start. Ask your PCA or Need to Know America sales rep about Applaud today. Always read and follow label directions carefully.
News Talk, 580 AM, 105.9 FM, KMJ, Fresno, a Cumulus Media station.
KMJ.
It's 3 o'clock in Fresno. I'm Jim Miller in the KMJ News Center. Fresno County Sheriff's Office announced the arrest of a man charged with multiple felony counts of domestic violence and false imprisonment with violence. Domestic violence detectives arresting 52-year-old Jonathan Reister on Sunday, December 18. A woman flagged down a motorist for help along Highway 168 near Shaver Lake. Woman said she was in danger, asked to be taken to a safe location. She was dropped off at a business in Shaver Lake, and an employee noticed she had injuries and called the Fresno County Sheriff's Office. A deputy interviewed the woman who said she was staying in a travel trailer with a man later identified as Reister that was holding her against her will. Rangers arrested him and turned him over to detectives who booked him into the Fresno County Jail. A 46-year-old driver killed in an overnight high-speed crash in Fresno. KMJ's Liz Kern has the details.
The CHP spotted a speeding BMW just before 2 a.m. on Thursday, going more than 85 miles per hour and driving erratically on the 168 by Ashland Avenue. They say they tried to pull over the driver, but he took off on the 168 interchange and they lost him. He was driving around 140 miles per hour. A short time later, the CHP found the BMW crashed on the Ashland off-ramp. The man was ejected from the vehicle and died at the scene. It's not known at this time if drugs or alcohol were factors in the crash. Liz Kern, KMJ News.
Bail significantly reduced for graduate student Lisa Spores after their attorney said his client has financial hardships. Fresno County Superior Court judge reduced their bail yesterday from over $1 million to $150,000. Spores was charged with DUI in the murder of 15-year-old Hoover High student Rashad Al-Hakim Jr. Prosecutors say during arraignment that Spores was under the influence of several drugs during the October 4th incident. U.S. reached its borrowing limit at midnight, leaving concerns of a showdown between the White House and House Republicans. Fox's Aisha Hasni has more from Washington on senators allegedly getting involved in the negotiations.
We've got senators now stepping into this stare down between the GOP-led House and the White House. GOP leader Mitch McConnell in Kentucky offered some words of assurance to Americans, sounding confident that the U.S. will not default on its debts.
I would not be concerned about a financial crisis.
He's watching Speaker Kevin McCarthy right now, trying to sit down with the president to come up with some sort of a plan to raise the debt ceiling, also while balancing the budget. And remember, this is one of the concessions that McCarthy made with a group of conservative hardliners in order to get the speaker's gavel. They want to use the debt ceiling to leverage spending cuts.
Now the forecast from Fox 26's Justin Willis.
Freeze warning in effect for tomorrow morning goes from Merced County down past the west side of Fresno County. There's also a freeze watch for the entire San Joaquin Valley through Monday. Temps during this time could get as low as 28 degrees overnight on the valley floor. Otherwise, clearing skies today with highs right around 50. From the Fox 26 Weather Center for KMJ, I'm Justin Willis.
With news on the hour, on the app, and when it breaks, and always streaming at KMJNow.com, I'm Jim Miller for News Talk 580, 105.9 KMJ.
And taking a look at traffic in the Hanford area, Lacey Boulevard and 16th. There has been a hit and run there. No injuries. They're in the cleanup stage. South of Fresno at East American, we're looking at the traffic hazard. No details there. That's near the corner of Southeast Avenue. With KMJ Traffic and for Greg Lane, I'm Ron McCary.
Samba to big-time winning.
And fabulous fun.
It's Chauncey Gold and the $650,000 Rio Carnival of Riches.
Dance to win January 2nd through February 24th. Only at Chauncey Gold Resort and Casino.
Teresi. Streaming live on Alexa, Google Home, and everything else. Philip Teresi on KMJ.
305 News Talk 580, 105.9 KMJ. Phone's open for you at 490-5858 or 800-776-5858. All right, enough debt ceiling. I saw Mayor Dyer is in Washington, D.C. this week. It's the U.S. Council of Mayors. And so he's meeting with his contemporaries. He's also supposed to be meeting with military brass and the commander-in-chief, President Biden, who coincidentally is doing a tour of California today. So I'm assuming they'll be catching up over dinner. I'm glad that the president has come to the area. I believe sincerely that the president's function in the area is PR. It is photo ops. Just like his visit to El Paso, he's not going to be confronted by any of the truly ugly, harsh realities of what people have suffered as a result of these storms. He may be shown wreckage. He may be shown property damage. He's not going to be shown the line at the Fresno Mission or the Poverello House. He's not going to have to hear from people that have been forcibly ejected from their homes by Chinese-controlled investment groups that have decided to start snapping up properties in Fresno, California. He's going to come out. He's going to take some pictures. He's going to look somber. He's going to offer reassuring words. And it's frankly, it's very cynical. And it's cynical when any politician does it, but it's especially cynical from a politician who as far as I can tell, has no awareness that this region exists and has no concern for the health and the welfare of the people in the region outside of an opportunity for him to, again, collect some PR photos for the next effort at political office or whatever it is he's going to do. For the scrapbook, I guess. And I don't want to turn my nose up at the aid and the relief. Joe Biden doesn't need to be here. Joe Biden has thousands and thousands of employees that can come out, that can look at the situation critically, objectively, and report back about what we need. Report back about where resources are still wanting. How many people currently suffering as a result of the storm damage? How many people currently suffering in this region could have had a night in a hotel or a week's worth of meals for the cost of Joe Biden flying out here to take pictures? Because again, he's not going to pick up a shovel. He's not going to go dig out the rubble of somebody's home. He's not going to head out there and start busting out drywall, getting ready to demo for flood remediation. He's going to walk around, he's going to look sad, he's going to take pictures. It's very cynical. I feel like it would be far more productive for him to be at this Council of Mayors get-together, talking with people like Jerry Dyer, who know the communities and know the needs and can give him immediate, smart answers about what else is required. But he's going to come out here and he's going to act concerned. In the meantime, we've got Congressman Valadao reintroducing the Water Act, firing off letters to the president, to the governor. We need to stop undermining the immediate and long-term health of agriculture in this region. And the same people that will look at you cross-eyed and get frustrated with you when you conflate weather and climate because you're tired of guys like Al Gore lecturing you from Davos after he flew in on his private jet about how you need to cut your shower to 180 seconds, are now going to conflate a series of storms that have been, at best, an opportunity to recharge, an opportunity to literally clear the air, a boon for groundwater. My lawn's looking better. And at worst, 20 people are dead. That story about that little boy, that 5 or 6 year old boy, telling his mother to be calm right before he's pulled off by the floodwaters, I still can't sit down and read the coverage of it. It hurts my heart. But he'll conflate these two stories. So when it's time to talk seriously about how we should have, shoulda, woulda, coulda, done a better job storing water, how we should be moving water through the Delta and downstream to our farmers and to our families in a controlled, organized, safe way. How it's time to stop coddling a non-indigenous bait fish, and it's absolutely time to open the pumps and preserve the agricultural core of the West Coast. Well, you guys were just complaining there was too much rain. Well, there's that great big snow cap. I saw the mountains. They're all white. Why would we do anything with that? You guys don't have a water storage problem. You have enough snow up there. It could be years. And nothing's going to get done. And it's heartbreaking because while he's here in this region, in this part of the country and in our community, he's going to go around and he's going to tell people that he's listening. He's going to tell people that he cares. He's going to tell people that he is there to help them rebuild, to help them recover, to help them find housing, to make sure that they've got food and shelter tonight and for all the nights that they need it while these waters recede. and while their property is reclaimed and recovered. And he's going to say it with a straight face. He'll go hug an old lady, or he'll go hug a child, or he'll go hug a grieving widow, and he'll get his picture. He'll get his moment for the media. And he's going to look at these people and he's going to lie to them, and he's going to tell them that he cares and that he's thinking about the long term. And he's not going to do anything about turning the pumps on. He's not going to do anything about solving this man-made drought. He's not going to stand up to the enviro wackos that think that Al Gore is going too easy with his man-bear-pig grade freak out at the World Economic Forum this morning. President Trump was starting to get it. And look, when I say starting to get it, I'm actually giving him a tremendous amount of credit. The real estate guy from Queens doesn't know about agriculture in California. It's not an insult. It's just a different planet. But Devin Nunes and Tom McClintock and David Valadeo and Kevin McCarthy, they got in front of him. They talked to him. They provided the education that was necessary for him to get on board. But we're back at square one with an administration that is reversing things like the 2019 environmental opinions. Not because it's good policy, not because it's good stewardship of the environment, but simply because Orange Man bad. And as long as the guiding light of the left continues to be Orange Man bad, we're going to see families who need help. Yes, today, they need help today, and they need FEMA to be there, and they need that temporary housing, and they need that food, and they need those blankets, and they do need that stuff. And I'm glad that it is there, and I am glad that we, the taxpayers, are able to provide that. They're also going to need to go back to work. They're going to need jobs. They're going to need food. They're going to need schools for their kids. And that's the part that Joe Biden is not going to pay attention to. He's not going to heed that. He's going to come in. He's going to tell these people that he cares about them. He's going to lie to their faces, and he's going to get back on his plane, and he's going to fly back. He's going to fly back to Washington, D.C., and he's going to go in, and he's going to sit there, and he's going to nod, and he's going to shake hands, and he's going to backslap with all of these guys who have come in for the United States Council of Mayors get together. And he's going to absorb what they have to say. And then he's going to go back to doing whatever it is that Joe Biden believes is the politically expedient thing to do. Because Joe Biden is absolutely the kind of man that is going to put party ahead of country, and who is going to put fundraising ahead of the long-term well-being of his constituents out here in the red state island that is the center of California. 490-5858 is the number. Chad, thank you for calling. Welcome to KMJ.
Hey, how's it going? I just had one question. The city of Tulare has sunk in 30 feet because the farmers are pumping out so much water out of the ground out there on the west side of the valley. The environmentalists are talking about natural stuff. Why not bring back a portion of the Tulare Lake? Build back up the water supply out there on the west side of the valley. J.G. Boswell will have more water out there. And it's kind of a win-win for everybody, I think, or am I wrong?
Okay, so let me answer your question very broadly. No, you're not wrong. More water storage is a net positive. Now, do I know specifically if Tulare Lake is precisely the highest and best possible avenue for that? I don't know that.
Maybe not, but I'm just sitting there saying, you know how like all these people are like,
yeah,
oh, well, we can't mess with the environment. We can't this. Well, that's natural out there, and the water naturally flows out there.
Yeah.
And I don't know.
Yeah, Chad, my broad answer to you is yes. More water storage is a net positive. And as to the specifics, as to any one plan, I don't know because I'm just not educated enough. I haven't studied that specifically. But it's a good suggestion. It's better than, yo, catch this roll of bounty and I'll catch you on the flip side, which is what we're going to get.
Look at all the water that's coming out of the Sacramento River and it's going right out to sea. Southern California, they get a little bit of precipitation. Where's it go? It goes right through the LA basin. I don't know.
Well, and the thing is, that Southern California has actually had a greater degree of success they've been able to capture something like, I think it's 33 billion, and I think that it was gallons, because 33 billion acre feet, I think you and I would be having this conversation through a snorkel. But it was a tremendous amount of water that they were able to hang on to. Meanwhile, the Delta is doing this flush out where we were at peak. I think there was 118,000 acre feet per second of water coming into the Delta, and they were sending out something to the tune of 95,000 acre feet per second, so as to not create a situation where the smelt would be overwhelmed by whatever was going on at the pumps. And so they're flushing this water out to the ocean instead of flushing it into the Delta system and into all of the subsequent water systems that exist downstream from the Delta. But yeah, more water storage is absolutely on the right track. Like I said, we got to get some experts in here. I may even check to see if Aubrey Betancourt wants to put on her water maven hat to walk us through some of that gently. But yeah, Tulare Lake, I'm game to hear about it, 100%. And having once been a natural reservoir doesn't seem like the craziest idea I've heard all day, man. Appreciate the call. Phones are open for you, 490-5858, toll-free 800-776-5858. Are we going to find solutions? Are we going to find forward motion? Are we going to get behind the Valley Congressional Delegation, David Valadao and Kevin McCarthy, and really push these guys? And maybe lean on the president a little bit while he's here. Water storage. We need water storage. We need sensible environmental policy, and we need water storage. You are killing this region, and you are allowing this region to be strangled because of principles that have nothing to do with good management of any element of the environment or the resources that our farmers are actually exceptional stewards of. 490-5858. More calls on the way on the afternoon drive on KMJ.
And taking a look at Thursday afternoon traffic conditions, freeways continue to run smoothly in the Fresno Columbus metro area and northeast, south, and west. Hanford at Lacey Boulevard and 16th, there's a cleanup after a hit and run with no injuries. And south of Fresno at East American and Southeast, there is a traffic hazard. No details there. Listen up very carefully. State Route 178 is currently closed to the Kern Canyon, that's east of Bakersfield, due to a rock slide. Caltrans says the road will remain closed at least through tomorrow, if not longer. With KMJ Traffic, I'm Ron McCary.
This report is sponsored by Wendy's Hot and Crispy Fries. Wendy's knows everyone hates cold, soggy fries, so they changed theirs to serve them up hot and crispy, guaranteed, using only natural cut skin-on fries prepared to golden goodness and perfectly sprinkled with sea salt. Guaranteed to be hot and crispy. If yours aren't, bring them back and they'll replace them at participating U.S. Wendy's.
On December 15th, the Public Utilities Commission announced the biggest change to solar ever, NEM 3.0. And it's bad news for any farmer or business who has not gone solar already. But Pickett Solar, the Valley's leading commercial solar contractor, is here to help. It's called Net Energy Metering, or NEM. And under the current version, it's what makes solar such a great investment. With the newly passed NEM 3.0, the utilities will continue to keep raising your rates, will pay you less, and keep the profits for themselves. The value of solar will drop by 75%, and the payback period will go from 2 to 3 years to more than 10 years. There is still time to lock in the value of solar before this change happens. The deadline for NEM 2.0 savings is April 13th, so contact Pickett Solar today. Learn your options, see your savings, and allow us to submit your solar application under NEM 2.0. If you wait too long, NEM 3.0 could cost you millions. Go to PickettSolar.com.
Every small business owner knows business happens everywhere. The office, the warehouse, or on the road. And no matter where it takes you, there's one solution to help your business thrive. Comcast Business Complete Connectivity. It's the largest, fastest, reliable network with advanced gig speed Wi-Fi and cyber threat protection in one solution. Get started for just $49.99 a month. Plus, add Comcast Business Mobile and you can save up to 60% a year on your wireless bill. And ask how to get up to a $750 prepaid card.
Flight 291
Yep, you're going places. And when you get there, be ready to do business. The complete connectivity solution from the company that powers more small businesses than any other provider. Comcast Business, powering possibilities.
Ends 2/21/2023. Restrictions apply. Requires EcoBill and AutoPay. New 50 megabits per second internet and Comcast Business Security Edge customers only. Equipment taxes and fees extra. After 12 months, regular rates apply. Gig internet required for gig Wi-Fi. Mobile savings compares pricing of top 3 carriers.
I am a very happy camper because I get to tell you about the Noble Brothers Truck Accessory Center. Yeah, exactly the same place I was talking to you about 15, 20 years ago. Do you know this local company is 42 years old? 42 years dabbling with trucks. I think they know what they're doing. And right now, I need to address you people that have companies and you people who are farmers with fleet vehicles. This is an area where the Noble Brothers have really carved out their expertise. Whether it's cabinets, truck racks, ladder racks, toolboxes, van interiors, van shelving, and a lot of it. Remember, I use the F word, fleet. If you have fleet needs, you need the Noble Brothers Truck Accessory Center. 2 of them, one out in Sunnyside, the other one on Blackstone near Sierra. I got to know them when they turned a Jeep Wrangler of mine into a masterpiece, and I just got another Jeep. And they're doing it all over again. I can't wait for the finished product. Click nobletruck.com. Noble, Nobile. If it's a pickup, a van, a Jeep, oh, even a fifth wheel, you totally need the Noble Brothers Truck Accessory Center since 1980.
California's #1 selling RV dealer does it again. Best RV presents its annual RV show now through January 31st. Come in now and see hundreds of motorhomes, toy haulers, fifth wheels, travel trailers, tent trailers, as well as Class A, B, and C. The selection is endless at Best RV. Best RV has the lowest prices, free dealer prep, and no hidden fees. Financing available. It couldn't be a better time to get down to Best RV. Check them out at 5340 Taylor Court in Turlock or online at bestrv.com.
Get your game on this January at the Tachi Palace and get your hands on your share of over $215,000 in cash and prizes. Just look at all these promotions. New Year's and kitchens and hangovers and flashbacks. It pays to play at Tachi. Go to TachiPalace.com for complete promotion details. Now through January 31st, win your share of over $215,000 in cash and prizes. Tachi Palace Casino Resort in Lemoore. This is 40.
Former Navy SEAL Sean Ryan shares real stories from real people from all walks of life on The Sean Ryan Show. Wealth strategist Rob Luna.
If you could solve a problem in this world better than anyone else, you're going to make a lot of money. And that's really what a business's ultimate goal is, whether it's your business or a manufacturing business. It's about solving a problem, making a bigger impact in people's lives than anyone else on scale.
I mean, I've been trying to scale my business, but I can't find somebody to conduct these interviews.
Yeah. The Sean Ryan Show on YouTube or wherever you listen.
Crosby, Stills, and Nash on the afternoon drive at News Talk 580, 105.9 KMJ. By now, you've probably seen the news. David Crosby has passed away at 81 years of age. His wife made a statement to the press earlier today saying, "It is with great sadness that after a long illness, our beloved David has passed away. He was surrounded by his wife and soulmate, Jan, his son, Django. Although he's no longer here with us, his humanity and kind soul will continue to guide and inspire us. His legacy will continue to live on through his legendary music." She asks for both privacy for the family to deal with the loss and thanks everybody for the love and prayers. You know, I always thought of Crosby, David Crosby, as an old man, because that's how I knew him. That's how I saw him. the version with the Wilford Brimley mustache and the gray hair coming out of the stocking cap. But, man, you go back to the photos of him and the Byrds in 1964. I guess everybody was young once. It looks weird on David Crosby, man. So, he was with Roger McGuinn, Gene Clark, Chris Hillman, and Michael Clark from 64 to 67 in the Byrds. 1968, Crosby connects with Stephen Stills at where did they connect? Anyways, Stephen Stills from Buffalo Springfield, Graham Nash from the Hollies, and they're on again, off again with Neil Young, of course. He was an addict. He fought that his entire life. He had a liver transplant in 1994. He spent 5 months in prison after an arrest in Texas on drug and weapons charges. That was in 1982. And when he talked to People in 2019, Crosby said, it's the one contribution I can make. It's dark out here now. The world is not a happy place. Music's a lifting force. Music makes things better. That was the same year that they put out the documentary about him. David Crosby, Remember My Name. He said, the catharsis thing works. They taught me that in AA. You have to honestly look at your mistakes, and then you can learn from it, which is the only good thing that's going to come from any mistake. Then you can set that puppy down and walk on, because that's what you need to do. You need to walk on, and you need to be looking forward. So when you walk on, you're not going backwards. Otherwise, you might run into a phone pole. I think it's had a great effect on me. It's lightening my load. Again, Crosby passed away today at the age of 81. His family confirming the passing in a statement made to Variety and a handful of other outlets. So, President Trump on Wednesday hopped on Truth Social to talk about the classified stuff found at Mar-a-Lago. He was trying to contrast what was found at Mar-a-Lago with what was found at Joe Biden's home and Joe Biden's former office. Mr. Trump said these were just ordinary, inexpensive folders with various words printed on them, but they were a cool keepsake. He then goes on to say, perhaps the Gestapo took some of these empty folders when they raided Mar-a-Lago and counted them as a document, which they are not. Now, when the FBI searched Mar-a-Lago, agents recovered 48 empty folders marked as containing classified material and 42 folders that had once contained documents that were required to be returned to staff secretary or a military aide. That same inventory revealed that FBI agents had recovered 103 documents labeled as classified, including some that were top secret or special compartmentalized. Trump defended the folders as keepsakes, saying that after he had Oval Office meetings, classified and confidential papers would be taken from the folders. I'm not a fan of the calling the FBI the Gestapo thing. I think that the Godwin's Law thing jumps in here. If every time somebody makes you unhappy, you immediately go to calling them Nazis, you lost the argument. And I'm going to include him in this. Do I think that there's an argument about weaponization of the FBI, weaponization of law enforcement? Do I think that there's a get Trump mentality in the swamp? Yes. Do I think that vilifying the entire Federal Bureau of Investigation as the Gestapo is an unnecessary flourish that undermines what otherwise might be a point worthy of consideration? Yeah. And that's what I want to get to when we get back. Is an empty folder with funky markings on it really the basis for what's going on here? Did the FBI, when they took those photos and shared those photos publicly of the Mar-a-Lago raid, did they lay out a bunch of folders that they knew were empty?
KMJ News now.
It's 3:30 in Fresno. I'm Jim Miller in the KMJ News Center. Well, Fresno police announced 8 men suspected in a violent armed robbery in November have been arrested after a 3-month-long investigation. KMJ's Liz Kern has details from their press conference today at police headquarters.
On November 27th, a group of men with handguns forced their way inside of a hookah lounge around 3 a.m. as the business was closing. Employees and customers inside say they were violently assaulted and robbed. The suspects believed to be gang members.
They knew the location. They knew, where everything was stashed, and so it was just a well-planned robbery. And when you have various groups, 2 different gangs with a violent history who are coordinating to conduct this type of operation, we certainly makes us feel that this is not the first one. This is not the last one.
Fresno Police Chief Paco Balderrama stood with members of the Magic Task Force who identified 12 of the 15 suspects. On Wednesday, 8 were arrested and firearms were seized. Detectives are still looking for 3 men, 24-year-old Keontae Perry, 23-year-old Gregory Brinkley, and 32-year-old Brian Howard. Call Crime Stoppers with any tips at 498-STOP. Liz Kern, KMJ News.
Investigators say there's a $5,000 reward for information leading to the arrest of 2 arson suspects. Fresno police officials said 2 suspects caught on security video breaking into a strip mall, setting a business on fire earlier this month. The fire eventually spread to other businesses, destroying the entire mall. Anyone with information can call the department's Crime Stoppers line. Clovis business owners have begun a program where people can get free food. City officials say customers who spend up to $100 at any local restaurant, bar, and coffee shop between January 16th and February 13th can receive a reward. Rewards include a $25 gift card or Old Town Bucks, which can be used at certain local restaurants. Now the forecast from Fox 26's Justin Willis.
Freeze warning in effect for tomorrow morning goes from Merced County down past the west side of Fresno County. There's also a freeze watch for the entire San Joaquin Valley through Monday. Temps during this time could get as low as 28 degrees overnight on the valley floor. Otherwise, clearing skies today with highs right around 50. From the Fox 26 Weather Center for KMJ, I'm Justin Willis.
With news on the hour, on the app, and when it breaks, and always streaming at KMJNow.com. I'm Jim Miller for News Talk 580, 105.9 KMJ.
And taking a look at Thursday afternoon traffic at Northwest and West Olive in Fresno. There's been a collision, no injuries reported there. And south of Fresno at East American and Southeast, there's a traffic hazard, no details. State Route 178 is currently closed through the Kern Canyon. That's east of Bakersfield due to a rock slide. Caltrans says it will probably remain open through at least tomorrow, if not longer. With KMJ Traffic, I'm Ron McCary.
This report is sponsored by Staples Stores. Staples helps you start the new year off right with big savings on everything you need for your business. Now, Staples Reward members get $30 back in a Staples Store bonus when they spend $100. Rewards members only. Store bonus redeemable in store only. Offer ends 1/21. Save big at Staples.
Mike Sherinian, owner of The Elbow Room.
January might be one of the most exciting months of the year from the standpoint that you get to use the great bonus cards from the gift cards you've purchased. We look at January as being a really big month for people to come in, redeem their bonus card, have a great lunch or dinner, and then get ready for the rest of the month.
Speaking of getting ready, let the Elbow Room Market help you make Valentine's Day unforgettable with a romantic custom gift basket. Just tell us about your Valentine, and our creative Cupids will put together a gift basket brimming with sumptuous wines, decadent treats, and whatever else your heart desires. But don't wait. Stop by the Elbow Room Market today.
Now you've got an incentive on our nickel to use those bonus gift cards and enjoy dining out in January. Let us help you really enjoy the benefits of that bonus card.
The Elbow Room in Big Garden Village. Call 227-1234 to make your reservations.
Samba through big-time winning.
And fabulous fun.
It's Chauncey Gold and the $650,000 Rio Carnival of Riches.
Dance to win January 2nd through February 24th. Only at Chauncey Gold Resort and Casino.
Susan
Finn, I'm sorry I'm late. Traffic is terrible.
It sure is. But on top of that, gas prices have been skyrocketing. I can't believe how expensive gas has gotten recently.
Prices at the pump are up, but I never pay full price for gas anymore. I just use the free Upside app that pays you cash back for every gallon of gas you buy.
Wait a minute. Are you saying you actually get paid cash when you buy gas with the Upside app?
Yes, I get real cash back every time I buy gas.
And does that actually add up to anything?
I've made around $200.
Wow, that's serious extra cash. I'm downloading the free Upside app now.
Download the free Upside app to earn real cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code CLEAN for an extra 25 cents per gallon cash back on your first fill-up. You can cash out anytime right to your bank account, to PayPal, or an e-gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code CLEAN for a 25 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code CLEAN for 25 cents per gallon cash back on your first fill-up.
This report is sponsored by Lowe's. MVP's bonus days are back for pros at Lowe's. Now through January 20th, pros save and earn bonus points on top brands like DeWalt. Join Lowe's MVP's program today and shop bonus days only at Lowe's.
Teresi. Streaming live on Alexa, Google Home, and everything else. Philip Teresi on KMJ.
We're all through the 3 o'clock hour on your afternoon drive at News Talk 580 and 105.9 KMJ. Former President Trump hopping on Truth Social, making the observation that many of the files that the FBI claims to have found at Mar-a-Lago were empty folders that he deliberately kept as cool keepsakes because they were empty folders with cool markings on them. As a borderline pathological collector of interesting garbage, I get that. It's amazing. It doesn't matter how much money you make. It doesn't matter how easy it is for you to access the resources you need. There is still something in some of our brains. Neither of my brothers are like this, by the way. But in some of our brains, oh, that's cool. I should hang on to that. That might be useful for something. I have 4 wicker baskets stored in my garage. Gift baskets. I think one of them was a floral arrangement. And 3 of them, Lorna, if you're out there, I've got 3 of your wicker baskets in my garage. One of them, I believe Lorna brought to me in 2013. It might be useful for something. I might make a gift basket for somebody. I could use it as an attractive option to store something. I'm never going to use them. And eventually, either they will degrade to a point where I will admit that to myself, or I'll get on one of my manic cleaning swings and actually toss them. Little oddball tchotchkes from radio. Oh, my God. So some of the weird stuff that I've accumulated and that in my own head I have deemed interesting. Say a prayer for my wife and kids when the big one finally comes and it's time for them to clean out my office, because they're going to be going through boxes of stuff asking themselves, why the hell did he save that? So in terms of President Trump looking at file folders with stamps on them saying classified or confidential, the chevron tape marks that designate them as something other than just a good old-fashioned manila folder. Yep, totally get it. 100%. I understand completely. Might be good for something. It's kind of cool. Somebody will be interested in this. We all have common ground with each other somewhere. Perhaps this is my common ground with President Trump. Here's the problem. If he is admitting that he retained this stuff in part, he may be setting himself up for a tougher fight in court when it comes to the admissibility of the sum total of the folders, files, and documents located by the FBI when they went to Mar-a-Lago and took these classified and I'm assuming that an empty folder with a classified marking on it isn't a problematic thing. But we know that there was documents that were there, some with, some without folders. So the warning is that the posts may come back to bite Trump. It starts to turn into a question of admissible evidence. Former U.S. Attorney Joyce Vance says this is why lawyers want their clients to stay silent. You have the right to remain silent. So it's why lawyers want their clients to stay silent when there's the possibility of a criminal investigation. Former U.S. Attorney Vance says Biden probably has conflicting advice from his lawyers who want total radio silence and his advisors, his political spinmeisters, who are advocating for transparency. Bob McGuire's the research director for Citizens for Responsibility and Ethics in Washington. He agrees with Vance's claim. And he says that this so-called straightforward explanation, quote, which is definitely not how classified material is handled, took him months to come up with and wasn't used by any of his lawyers in court. In other words, this is an admission, not a defense. There's also a claim made that classified folders contain classified documents. So you wouldn't just dump out the paperwork to take the folder. And if you were disposing of it, wouldn't you shred the lot of it? See, now we're starting to get off into splitting hairs incredibly fine. I think that the point about this is why lawyers advise their clients to close their mouths, to go silent on this stuff. I think that that's valuable. But I think that what Trump has said about, I took empty folders because they looked cool. They're manila folders. They're not expensive. And that's for classified documents. Yeah, that's what they use. They're stamped and they are printed upon in a way that makes it obvious that they are intended to hold whatever. But they're not special. They're just like the manila folders that you and I would get at Office Depot. Some of them have the little two-prong wire thingy in them. A lot of them do. I don't know what the penalty is for taking souvenirs. I'm still curious to learn what the documents are or were that were in Donald Trump's possession, because that's the fight now. There doesn't seem to be any argument that Donald Trump had this stuff, both empty folders and documents, that he says that he had the authority to declassify at the time that he took them. That argument isn't there. He's acknowledging that in part through this series of posts. But what is the content? And does the content matter? That kind of goes back to the analogy about Trump and Biden. And if you run a stop sign, you run a stop sign. You can tell the cop that you are on your way to be by your wife's side as she is in labor with your firstborn child, or you can admit that you were playing with your cell phone. In either case, you ran the stop sign. That was the problem. The motivation wasn't relevant. I'm curious to see if it turns out he's overexposed himself. I'm also curious to see if any of the people investigating this have any care for the empty folders. Is there a national security risk in that? Or now that he has admitted this, do we get on with the discovery process of learning what documents he had and what he did or did not declassify? before he removed it from the White House. There will, as always, be more to come on the story. But President Trump, once again, jumping on social media. By the way, he's put an application in with Facebook. He's seeking a meeting. He wants to get reinstated through Meta. To the best of my knowledge, he still hasn't touched his Twitter account. Musk reinstated him early on in his tenure. And I don't think Trump has tweeted since, but he is going to Facebook asking to be allowed back on. And I'm sure that must have to do with the 2024 campaign. It's the Afternoon Drive at News Talk 580, 105.9 KMJ. Do you use Zelle or Zelly, the cash transfer app built into your bank account? Stick around. There's a story coming out of Bank of America that's it's going to make you want to start hiding money in your mattress, man. This is KMJ.
And taking a look at Thursday afternoon traffic, southbound 99 near Olive. This is in the Fresno area. A driver is pulled over to try to catch a cat in the center divider. And then I noticed that there's a lot of red, lots of congestion on the 99 west of the Tower District around Olive and Belmont. I don't know if those two are related or not. Northwest and West Olive, lots of activity over there. There's been a collision with no injuries. With KMJ Traffic, in for Greg Lane, I'm Ron McGarry.
This report is sponsored by Lowe's. Save now on appliances and more at the Truckload event at Lowe's. Get an additional 10% off all in-store clearance appliances and take home what you buy same day. Shop the Truckload event today. Exclusions apply while supplies last. Selection varies by location. See Lowe's.com for details. Valid 1/5 through 2/8.
Helen here with Chris Moran with a major solar industry update. So Chris, what makes this update so urgent?
The state of California has released a decision that will cut the savings from a new solar system by 75%. It's called NEM 3.0. Luckily, anyone who already has solar under NEM 2.0 will be locked in under the current benefits. But anyone who goes solar after April will do so under the new program, which honestly isn't great.
So, what should people do?
Well, for anyone listening, if you've been considering solar, now really is the time. Many people will regret not getting their system installed before these changes go into effect. And once April comes, it'll be too late.
And since Solar Negotiators is the only contractor to provide lifetime maintenance and no true-up monitoring, people can make the right choice. Lock in your project now with Solar Negotiators powered by Solar Maintenance Pros, your lifetime energy partner.
Every small business owner knows business happens everywhere. The office, the warehouse, or on the road. And no matter where it takes you, there's one solution to help your business thrive. Comcast Business Complete Connectivity. It's the largest, fastest, reliable network with advanced gig speed Wi-Fi and cyber threat protection in one solution. Get started for just $49.99 a month. Plus, add Comcast Business Mobile and you can save up to 60% a year on your wireless bill. And ask how to get up to a $750 prepaid card.
Flight 291 is now aboard.
Yep, you're going places. And when you get there, be ready to do business. The complete connectivity solution from the company that powers more small businesses than any other provider. Comcast Business, powering possibilities.
Ends 2/21/2023. Restrictions apply. Requires EcoBill and AutoPay. New 50 megabits per second internet and Comcast Business Security Edge customers only. Equipment taxes and fees extra. After 12 months, regular rates apply. Gig internet required for gig Wi-Fi. Mobile savings compares pricing of top 3 carriers.
Ever wished your trees could speak? Well, they do. And with FineTech, you can start listening. In fact, as crop prices drop and water costs rise, there's never been a more crucial time to listen to your trees. FineTech connects growers to their trees, enabling enhanced visibility of their operation and helping them maximize yields while saving water. Contact us at finetech.com and we'll connect you to growers that are listening to their trees. That's FineTech. PhyTech.com.
Every day, people from all over Central California are discovering unbeatable savings at Own-A-Car Fresno. Most dealers can't match Own-A-Car when it comes to great value. We work hard to get you a car you can afford, whether you're a first-time buyer or have less than perfect credit. Bottom line, Own-A-Car offers some of the easiest financing, low down and monthly payments, a lifetime powertrain warranty, and one of the state's largest selections of popular vehicles. So join thousands of happy customers who've made us one of California's top-rated dealers. 500 down sales event. No score, no more. Own-A-Car onacar.com.
For a better you in 2023, get better water. LifeSource is the whole house water system that will help you be a better you. Clean and healthy water is essential to look and feel your best. Unfiltered chlorinated water just doesn't cut it. LifeSource removes the bad stuff and keeps the good stuff. No chlorine showers or baths. Feel great, look great. Get LifeSource water. Call 559-330-1850 for a free consultation or visit lifesourcewater.com. LifeSource, taste and feel the difference.
My friend and I are taking a trip to Mexico this year, but neither of us speak Spanish. So we downloaded Babbel and started learning Spanish fast.
Want to start getting conversational in another language in as little as 3 weeks? Babbel's quick 10-minute lessons were designed by language experts to be the most efficient and effective way to learn a new language.
¿Cómo te llamas?
¿Cómo te llamas?
Babbel, language for life. Celebrating 10 million subscriptions sold. Now try Babbel for free at Babbel.com. That's Babbel.com.
Vote on the Daily Buzz question at KMJNow.com. Sponsored by the Buzz Allergy, Asthma, and Sinus Center.
Rolling up on 4 o'clock on your afternoon drive. News Talk 580, 105.9 KMJ. My name is Philip Teresi. Appreciate you guys hanging out this afternoon. Phones are open for you at 490-5858. Our toll-free 800-776-5858. Friend of the show and favorite listener, because Lorna Gordon bakes the most amazing chocolate cake, and every year she personally delivers it. She may also be single-handedly responsible for some incredible gains in TSL. Just a very cool lady announcing minutes ago on the Facebook Live feed of the afternoon drive at Drive KMJ. Aloha, kids. I just arrived in California after my 4 years in Hawaii. I'm so sad to leave. Lorna, welcome back to California. Welcome back to the mainland. Are you on a tour of the most expensive places in the world to live? And how long are you sticking around California? I loved Hawaii. I've been once. I loved visiting Hawaii. It really is. If you've never been, take a little time, research the quiet season, because remember, the quiet season is the cold season, which to us is perfectly normal, comfortable, like high 70s, because it's Hawaii. Make sure you don't go on Golden Weekend, which is apparently when everybody in Japan with banked vacation time turns up, and it's just a madhouse. It's just tourism on steroids. Absolutely everybody should go to Hawaii at least once, because it's gorgeous, it's paradise, it's beautiful. I've had friends who have gone to live there. I've had family that's gone to live there. I have no desire to live there. None. Having lived in a city where tourism was a thing that you could escape from, you could get in your car and drive away from it, or you could, get on the Muni and ride away from it. I don't ever want to live someplace that lives and dies off of tourism ever again. Hawaii is beautiful, and go and do it right, like save the money and just go nuts and go top shelf and love every minute of it. And tell me when you come back if there isn't a little piece of you, no matter how good it was, no matter how well taken care of, no matter how considerate the concierge, how awesome the locals, how beautiful the scenery. When you come back from Hawaii, if there isn't just a little piece of your brain that goes, yeah, no. Lord, I'm glad you're back. Where are you going to go? All right. It's almost a personal conversation. On the way, we got hour 3 of the show and a lot more ground to cover. The family of that 6-year-old who shot his teacher is speaking out for the first time. We'll tell you about what they had to say on behalf of the small child. Also, Bank of America customers have been reporting money disappearing from their accounts after an issue with the Zelle or Zelly cash transfer app. We'll talk about what that looks like and why I recommend that you not sign up for it, not allow it to be connected to your account, and don't use it. My God, hit an ATM. It's all on the way on the afternoon drive at News Talk 580 and 105.9 KMJ.
Missed part of the show? Get the Afternoon Drive podcast at KMJNow.com or by searching KMJ's Afternoon Drive in TuneIn Radio or Google Podcasts.
Susan, I'm sorry I'm late. Traffic is terrible.
It sure is. But on top of that, gas prices have been skyrocketing. I can't believe how expensive gas has gotten recently.
Prices at the pump are up, but I never pay full price for gas anymore. I just use the free Upside app that pays you cash back for every gallon of gas you buy.
Wait a minute. Are you saying you actually get paid cash when you buy gas with the Upside app?
Yes, I get real cash back every time I buy gas.
And does that actually add up to anything?
I've made around $200.
Wow, that's serious extra cash. I'm downloading the free Upside app now.
Download the free Upside app to earn real cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code CLEAN for an extra 25 cents per gallon cash back on your first fill-up. You can cash out anytime right to your bank account, to PayPal, or an e-gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code CLEAN for a 25 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code CLEAN for 25 cents per gallon cash back on your first fill-up.
Attention Fresno. If you've ever thought about going solar, you must go solar right now. The benefits are about to change. Time is running out, but it's not too late. You can go solar right now with Semper Solaris with no money out of pocket and no payments until 2024. Imagine having no electric bill and no payment for all of next year. Keep your money in your pocket and go solar American style with Semper Solaris. Protect your family from skyrocketing electric bills. You must act today to lock in your savings. Call 559-242-1800. That's 559-242-1800. Semper Solaris is local and veteran-owned, so they'll get the job done with esprit de corps and honor. Tesla Powerwall and Enphase batteries are in stock. Grab the 30% solar federal tax credit, $500 downloadable coupon, $500 off for military and first responders. Plus, 0 down, 0% interest, and 0 payments until 2024. For all offers, call 559-242-1800 or visit SemperSolaris.com. Expires 1/31/2023. CSLB number 978152.
Oh, when we first met, our relationship was hot, new, and exciting. I was really in love, so I was blinded by how you were changing. You became unreliable, and my friends were worried about me. That's why I had to call on the plumbing gurus at Lee's. For me, I gotta move on. Lee set me up with a hot water heater of my dreams. My parents even approve of this one.
Done with your water heater? Turn it in for a new one at Lee's Air Plumbing and Heating. You can trust their matchmaking plumbing services. They do all kinds of residential and commercial plumbing and heating work, both on the inside and outside. So whether you've got a leaky faucet, a clogged drain, a broken heater, or a broken sink, Lee's will be there to save the day. Call Lee's Air at 559-296-9555 to request an estimate. That's 559-296-9555. Lee's Air Plumbing and Heating. CLN 635355.
I have to say this. I am personally astounded how the Glass Shop in Visalia continues to do everything right. They're making some amazing business decisions, and that's great for you. Okay, so what now? No tax whatsoever on any windows up until April 15th. That'll save you plenty right there, especially if you got a big job. No taxes. They'll front that bill with Uncle Sam. You don't worry about it. Next, Scott has become kind of a living legend in this business of windows and doors and all of this stuff. He needs a title, like, shall we call him the Wizard of Windows? When he comes to your home, he'll tell you before you even know what you need, and this is blowing people's minds. He'll tell you what type of window. He'll tell you what brand. Now, you ultimately make the decision, but this guy knows. And the Glass Shop has windows that have a double lifetime warranty. You sell your home, and whoever buys the home gets that warranty as well. And they'll get it done like in 3 to 4 weeks, where most companies take 2 to 3 months. Click theglassshop.com. It's that simple. The Glass Shop in Visalia. Click theglassshop.com. There you go. Tax-free, don't forget.
When your business information is missing or inconsistent across the internet, search engines won't find you, and customers won't either. Help ensure customers see you and not your competitors. Boost your findability. CumulusBoost.com. CUMULUS Boost.com.
The original KMJ, 580 AM, 105.9 FM, Fresno, a Cumulus media station.
It's 4 o'clock in Fresno. I'm Jim Miller in the KMJ News Center. President Biden's in our state with Governor Newsom, joined by Senator Alex Padilla and Representative Anna Eshoo. He's speaking now and delivering remarks on California's storm's disaster recovery. From the 9 atmospheric rivers over 20 days, they'll be touring storm damage along the California coast. The president approved the FEMA major disaster declaration Monday for residents in Santa Cruz, Merced, and Sacramento counties. Yesterday, he added Monterey, San Luis Obispo, and Santa Barbara counties. And now today, San Joaquin County has been added to the list. Clovis Unified Superintendent announces she's leaving. KMJ's Liz Kern has details from the press conference held before noon today.
Clovis Unified Superintendent Eimer O'Brien says she needs to return to Ireland to take care of her family.
I have an almost 85-year-old mother in Ireland who needs the love and care of her daughter. And so that's really what has prompted me to essentially make that decision at this time. Because I can tell you, I absolutely love my job.
O'Brien says she'll split time between Ireland and here in the U.S. where her children live. She will retire from the school district on June 30th. Governing Board President David DeFrank.
The Governing Board will be convening a special session Monday afternoon. We will discuss various issues, including specific timelines and criteria and procedures for selecting the next superintendent.
Liz Kern, KMJ News.
One person dead after an overnight crash in Fresno. CHP says that high-speed accident happened at Ashland Avenue on Highway 168. A BMW seen by CHP speeding on eastbound Highway 180 just before 2 a.m. They say the car going more than 85 miles an hour, driving erratically. The car sped off going about 140 miles an hour after CHP tried to pull it over. They then found the car crashed on Ashland Avenue off-ramp, and the driver ejected. The 46-year-old man died at the scene. The investigation continues. Florida County is asking teachers what their thoughts are on arming themselves in schools. Marie Ettinger with Fox TV affiliate WOFL in Orlando has more.
This week, a survey will go out to employees at the Flagler County School District asking simply, are you interested in becoming a school guardian? If you answer no, that's the end of the survey. Former Orlando Police Chief Orlando Rolone says the Guardian program could cut security costs for the district by as much as 2/3.
If you have the right vetting process, if you provide the right training, and then you provide the right oversight over individuals that are providing security at our schools, I think that there is a viable option out there.
But in a statement, the National Education Association said arming teachers doesn't prevent gun violence. Quote, teachers should be teaching, not acting as armed security guards or receiving training to become sharpshooters.
Now the forecast from Fox 26's Justin Willis.
Freeze warning in effect for tomorrow morning goes from Merced County down past the west side of Fresno County. There's also a freeze watch for the entire San Joaquin Valley through Monday. Temps during this time could get as low as 28 degrees overnight on the valley floor. Otherwise, clearing skies today with highs right around 50. From the Fox 26 Weather Center for KMJ, I'm Justin Willis.
With news on the hour, on the app, and when it breaks, and always streaming at KMJNow.com, I'm Jim Miller for News Talk 580, 105.9 KMJ.
And taking a look at Thursday afternoon traffic, south of Fresno, West Lincoln and South Marks, there's a traffic hazard of some sort. In the Porterville area, Road 192, Avenue 88, there's been a collision with no injuries. And the 99 up near Olive Avenue, basically southbound, has been quite congested. I'm not sure if this is related, but a car pulled over to the center divider in that area about 20 minutes ago to try to catch a cat that was running in the center divider. State Route 178 is currently closed through the Kern Canyon east of Bakersfield due to a rock slide. Caltrans says it should remain closed through tomorrow, if not longer. With KMJ Traffic, I'm Ron McCary.
Samba to big-time winning.
And fabulous fun.
It's Chakchansi Gold and the $650,000 Rio Carnival of Riches.
Dance to win January 2nd through February 24th. Only at Chakchansi Gold Resort and Casino.
Your calls, your tweets, and your voice are welcome right now.
Hey, I really enjoy this forum. It's always more curious and rational. And
The Valley's Afternoon Drive with Philip Teresi on News Talk 580, 105.9 KMJ.
106, News Talk 580, 105.9 KMJ. So this 6-year-old who shot his teacher at a Virginia elementary school, his family is finally talking to the media. We'll talk about what they had to say. I still have a lot of questions. But Bank of America and Zelle, this is a match made in hell. Zelle, for those of you who have not yet encountered it, it is a cash transfer app. It's kind of in the same family of services as like Apple Pay and Venmo and stuff, and even to a certain extent like PayPal. It's a mechanism by which you and I can very easily send each other money. What I find very insidious about this particular app is that Zelle, or Zelly, I think it's Zelle, they have partnerships that exist with like 1,700 banks. And so when you go to your online banking, it's just a couple of button taps to set up the existing Zelle in your account and start sending money to any old body who's got an email address or a cell phone number. I know that we are headed in a direction where this kind of thing is super convenient. I use Venmo for not a lot, but there's been a couple of occasions, like when I forget my niece or nephew's birthday, the Venmo has been really, really convenient to send a note and a couple of bucks. But I went to Venmo. I checked them out. I downloaded their app. I learned about their company. I was able to learn a little bit about their security. I was able to configure the security to my own satisfaction. And I'm able to control the outflow of cash because Venmo's attached to a baby checking account that only has money in it when I specifically move money into it. It's not attached to the account that I pay my mortgage out of, in other words. And maybe I'm a little uptight, maybe I'm a little paranoid, but considering just the sheer number of stories that I read and that I share that have to do with people getting jerked around by scammers or by hackers who access their accounts, I feel justified. It's worth the extra layer in my mind. And I saw Zelle in one of my bank accounts. And I wanted to call the bank and blow my stack, but I know it's not the customer service girl's fault, so I'm not going to call and scream at anybody. I don't want it on my account. Every story I have seen about Zelle has revolved around phishers getting into people's accounts and transferring thousands and thousands of dollars out, or scammers calling seniors and convincing them to initiate the transfers themselves. And with the exception of a handful of cases where stations like KTVU and KGO and even some of our local television affiliates have made a spectacle of Zelle's, yeah, tough luck, you made a transfer, that's the way that goes. We can't do anything for you. There's no fraud protection here. Sorry, it's a bummer. And the bank's taking exactly the same attitude. I don't want it, I don't need it, I'm not going to use it. As a matter of personal security, as a matter of principle. If your app is a primary mechanism for screwing over old people and our seniors have to go to television stations to shame you into helping, and sometimes for what to a bank is pocket change, a couple of grand. To grandma, that might be whether or not she eats this month. To Zelle, to Bank of America, it's nothing. But they've got this, sorry, we did our part, tough luck, guess you shouldn't have been stupid kind of attitude about people getting scammed. Now, Bank of America is getting lit up by customers complaining that Zelle transactions aren't being processed and money's missing from their accounts. Even beyond that, that Zelle transactions that had been processed were backed out of their accounts. There's one lady who put $2,000 into her account using a Zelle transfer, and they pulled the money out. She had checks and transactions bouncing all over town. Quote, I almost lost my mind when I saw $2,000 missing from my account. Another customer hops on Twitter saying that Bank of America, quote, magically disappeared a large Zelle transaction that had already posted. Guy named Greg Murphy says there's a B of A issue where Zelle transfers after January 9th aren't being reflected in the balances on your account. Not accepting calls because of extenuating circumstances is insane. Call me. Because Bank of America got so overwhelmed, so inundated by people who were, gosh, that's surprising, upset that there was a bunch of money missing from their bank accounts, that they just stopped taking calls. You know, customer service is really inconvenient when you're bad at it. So when contacted by Fox News, a spokesperson for Bank of America replied, quote, we did have an issue where there's a delay posting Zelle transactions. It was resolved earlier today so that all the transactions are now showing in people's accounts. A Zelle spokesperson talking to Fox Business says, we understand that a Zelle network financial institution may have experienced issues processing some of their customers' Zelle transactions, which has now been resolved. Nobody take responsibility. Nobody apologize. Nobody put your hand up and admit that somewhere between the two of you, you once again screwed your customers. Why it is that Elizabeth Warren is the only one getting any play in the press for this, I don't know. But she turned up saying, quote, this should be fixed immediately and customers should be compensated. I've called out serious fraud issues on Zelle, and this is their latest failure. Bank of America and Zelle are apparently failing customers again. One, I want every bank to give me the option to permanently ban Zelle from my accounts. Two, if there is not already regulatory framework in place to bring enhanced accountability onto Zelle for handling transactions, that they then put their hands up and go, golly, we don't know what happened, when it turns out that grandma got scammed out of rent money. The legislature needs to step in. And I know that we cannot legislate all of human behavior. We cannot legislate all misfortune from cradle to grave. I get that. How many stories for you? You're watching the evening news. You're listening to KMJ on your drive home. You're hopefully listening to KMJ on your drive to work too. How many stories have you seen? Have you heard? Have you read about this one entity causing so many problems? And look, I'm no advocate for the Pocahontas school of legislation. Elizabeth Warren shouldn't be the only person putting her hand up and saying this is stupid, bad, and wrong and needs to stop. It is beyond time for Zelle to be reined in. And as far as Bank of America and this just kind of big shoulder shrug, B of A has 67 million consumer and small business customers just in the United States. I understand that a bad day is going to make it very hard to get to every angry phone call. If I call my bank and I don't get an answer when there's something wrong with my account, if I can't get somebody on the phone or in person to help me, to explain to me, to walk me through how it's going to be solved, I'm done with that bank today. And that's the only way that an entity the size of Bank of America is ever going to get the message. Not only are they, wink, wink, too big to fail, they're apparently too big to be called to account for the way that they treat the people who entrust them with their money. And who, by the way, actually allow them to make the billions and billions of dollars that they profit annually every year. I used to be a B of A customer. I'll never do it again. They could come in right now and offer me 0% financing on the car of my dreams. I'd still pass. And as for Zelle, again, these banks that have allowed it to be put into accounts and to be connected with just a couple of clicks, they need to walk it back, because this is eventually going to turn into one of the most expensive class action lawsuits in the history of the country. When we get back, we'll talk about this 6-year-old. He shot his teacher. The teacher's recovering. The family is finally talking, and what they have to say, I don't know what else I expected, but I didn't expect to be this disappointed.
Taking a look at Thursday afternoon traffic in the Fresno metro area. Highway 99, the freeway, of course, and Freeway 41 are showing areas of congestion that usually begins about this time of the afternoon. 168 and 180 still looking pretty smooth. West Lincoln at South Marks, a telephone pole is leaning over the roadway, so that is considered a traffic hazard. Not sure whether it's broken at the base or not. Porterville area, Road 192, Avenue 88, a collision with no injuries. And the Merced area, Highway 140, North Gurr Road, there has been a collision with no injuries. With KMJ Traffic, in for Greg Lane, I'm Ron McCary.
Learn about Duarte Nursery's new and improved pistachio program. Duarte Nursery pistachios are bigger with the new Moon Unit budded trees. Crop years ahead. Save pre-productive time and several acre-feet of water by planting Moon Units. The new Vigor Clone rootstocks establish faster, come into production faster, and plateau at higher production levels than standard pistachio rootstocks. Duarte Nursery has several budded pistachio tree formats available, including the Moon Units for 2022 and 2023 spring planting. Talk to your Duarte Nursery field rep today. Duarte Nursery is the leader in potted almond trees. The new almond variety, Yorizani the Gold Nut, is a recently released self-fertile almond by the USDA. Yorizani has been field tested statewide and is a top performer in the regional almond variety trials. Yorizani is a standout performer in both quality and production. Yorizani almond trees are available from Duarte Nursery for your plantings now. Duarte Nursery has all of the best rootstocks, including Bright's Hybrid 5 and Krimsk 86 available.
Susan, I'm sorry I'm late. Traffic is terrible.
It sure is. But on top of that, gas prices have been skyrocketing. I can't believe how expensive gas has gotten recently.
Prices at the pump are up, but I never pay full price for gas anymore. I just use the free Upside app that pays you cash back for every gallon of gas you buy.
Wait a minute. Are you saying you actually get paid cash when you buy gas with the Upside app?
Yes, I get real cash back every time I buy gas.
And does that actually add up to anything?
I've made around $200.
Wow, that's serious extra cash. I'm downloading the free Upside app now.
Download the free Upside app to earn real cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code CLEAN for an extra 25 cents per gallon cash back on your first fill-up. You can cash out anytime right to your bank account, to PayPal, or an e-gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code CLEAN for a 25 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code CLEAN for 25 cents per gallon cash back on your first fill-up.
Turn to the experts with Carrier.
Okay, Andrea and Eddie, ready to record?
Okay, Andrea, real quick. How do you say it again?
It's Albritton's Complete Furnace Revitalization.
Get Albritton's Complete Furnace Revitalization.
Not bad. Maybe a little more on the zation.
Get Albritton's Complete Furnace Revitalization. Oh, man, this is tough.
No, it's good. And folks really need this service before they run their furnace this year.
Well, our furnace revitalization makes your heater blow like it's young again.
We professionally clean all elements, lubricate all moving parts,
Test all safety sensors, check for carbon monoxide leaks,
install a brand new air filter, and then we recalibrate your heating system back to factory fresh condition.
all for just $129.
Right.
Get All Britain's complete furnace revitalization. Okay, I think I got it.
Call All Britain now for your $129 complete furnace revitalization. Online at allbritain.com.
I know exactly how you feel. You're sitting there at the gas pump wondering, am I ever going to have a regular meal again? Because you're cutting out all the good food because you can't afford the gas, right? Wait until you see your next PG&E bill. No more meals out and no more hair because you're going to be pulling that out as well, too. Do what I did. Planet Solar. When you have a solar system put in by Planet Solar, you literally lock in your energy price forever. Don't you wish it could be that way at the gas pump? Sorry, but you can't do that there. But you can do it for your home with Planet Solar, and it all began for them right here in Central California. One of the things I really liked about these guys is their financing. Don't let the rate hike scare you away from going with Planet Solar. And they are really quick and good and efficient on installation, and they have become masters at putting together a complete solar package with a solar battery. So you've got the juice when PG&E says, no, you don't need it because we're trying to conserve to save the world. Click planetsolar.com. Do that. Call them at 228-9245.
Samba to big-time winning.
And fabulous fun.
It's Chauncey Gold and the $650,000 Rio Carnival of Riches.
Dance to win January 2nd through February 24th. Only at Chauncey Gold Resort and Casino.
It's the Afternoon Drive. News Talk 580, 105.9 KMJ. I'm Philip Teresi. Phone's open for your calls at 490-5858 or toll free at 800-776-5858. A little bit later this hour, we'll get to the arrest of a San Francisco art gallery owner who sprayed a homeless woman with a garden hose. And closer to town, a preliminary hearing for a woman accused in the... I don't even know if she's been charged with hit and run, but the death of a Hoover High School student and the reaction of the family to the conditions currently imposed. Right now, though, I want to talk about this 6-year-old kid. I'm sure that you have heard this story. It was all over the news right at the beginning of the month. This 6-year-old boy took a handgun from his home, put it in his backpack, brought it to the Rich Neck Elementary School in Newport News. He then shot and wounded his 25-year-old teacher, a woman named Abigail Zwerner. It is described as an intentional act, according to police. Now, the teacher got all the other kids out of the classroom. There was about 20 other kids there. After Zwerner was shot, she got all the kids out, and the cops, specifically Newport News Police Chief Steve Drew, describes her as a hero who saved lives. The family of the 6-year-old has, for the first time, talked to the press, and I don't know what I expected, but it wasn't this. The family said that the firearm, quote, the firearm our son accessed was secured. You want to know how I know that that's not true? Because your 6-year-old shot his teacher. Therefore, your firearm was not secured. Saying otherwise, claiming otherwise, is an insult. It is an insult to Abigail, who continues to recover from her injuries. Thank God she survived. It is an insult to all of the families who are now terrified to send their kids to school. Newport News is going to put metal detectors at every campus now. This entire community, hundreds of thousands of dollars, probably realistically, if the district is of any size, we're going to get into millions of dollars for security that was not at the top of the mind of these families until a 6-year-old showed up at school with a 9mm Taurus pistol in his backpack and shot his first grade teacher. But the family said, well, the firearm that our son accessed was secured. Nope. Through a spokesperson, the family went on to say, quote, our family has always been committed to responsible gun ownership and keeping firearms out of the reach of children. Then how did your 6-year-old get the gun? How did your kid get the gun? What's your commitment worth? My 6-year-old couldn't get into my stash of jelly beans. If you don't have a safe cracker, heavy equipment, treats for the dogs, and the alarm code to my house, a grown man couldn't get my firearms. It's something that my wife and I have debated back and forth throughout our marriage. We've got a handful of long guns. We've got a couple of sidearms. I'm not a gun collector. I'm not a hunter. So I don't have the sometimes impressive, if not intimidating collections that I know some of you guys have. My primary motivation for owning firearms is home defense and self-defense. That's it. And my wife and I have talked about this extensively. Now, my youngest is now 15 years old. And my youngest and my oldest were both taught their entire lives to never, ever, 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 ever touch a gun without the explicit permission and guidance and supervision of me or my wife. Not a friend, not a grandparent, not an aunt or an uncle. If mom or dad aren't there walking you through it, you leave it alone. And if you find one or you think you found one, you go find an adult and you tell them. And if you're worried somebody's going to get into it, you stand there and you scream until the adult comes to you. But in the meantime, if you aren't a safecracker, if you aren't armed with the right tools, if you can't get past the dogs, the cameras, and the alarms, a grown man's not going to get one of my guns. And I have been, I have to admit, from time to time, chafed by that, because the point of having them is home defense and self-defense. And I don't want to have to go through whatever the process might be for getting the Mona Lisa out of its enclosure if somebody's in my house at dark 30. And so we've arrived at a compromise that gives me a short route to getting what I need if, God forbid, I ever need it, but also guarantees that my kid is not going to go and get a gun and take it to school, which, again, my kids wouldn't do, because my kids know that they would be facing the wrath of dad, the likes of which they've never even considered, if they were to do something so dangerous and irresponsible. So to say our family's always been committed to responsible gun ownership and keeping firearms out of the reach of children. Your 6-year-old shot his teacher. You're lying. You're lying or you're stupid. We've been cooperating with local and federal law enforcement to understand how this could have happened. You didn't secure your gun. You didn't secure your gun. You didn't check to make sure that the weapon was secure. You didn't watch what your kid was doing. You didn't teach your kid how dangerous that tool can be. You want to understand how this could have happened? You didn't secure the gun. Yes, things can break. Security can be compromised, of course. How many of you beep your key fob and then jiggle the handle on the car door anyways? That is a greater level of security than this family imposed upon their guns. Of course they're cooperating. They're trying to avoid going to prison for letting a 6-year-old get a gun. And then they say, our heart goes out to our son's teacher. We pray for her healing in the aftermath of such an unimaginable tragedy. No, it's completely imaginable. That's why you were supposed to secure your gun. Your heart goes out to her. You pray for her healing. Write a check. Don't talk about thoughts and prayers. Your kid got a firearm that you did not properly secure. It is only by the grace of God that nobody's dead. Don't talk about your heart. Don't talk about your prayers for healing. Write a check. Pay this woman's medical bills. And there is more to this story. We'll get to it in a minute. First, though, a very patient Jim Miller stands by in the KMJ newsroom.
KMJ News now.
It's 4:30 in Fresno. I'm Jim Miller in the KMJ News Center. 2 boys now find themselves in juvenile hall after a stabbing took place Wednesday morning. According to Fresno police, they were called at about 8:30 regarding a fight at Echo and Weldon Avenues. Police say a fight had broken out at Fresno High School. Afterwards, officers say 2 boys stabbed and possibly the suspects fled Thursday. Today, Fresno police providing an update and say the 2 boys who were stabbed believed to be aggressors, and the victim who fled acted in self-defense. Both teens placed in juvenile hall for assault by means likely to cause serious injury. Suspect of the deadly DUI crash that killed a Hoover High student out on bail. Lisa Spores, who uses they, them pronouns, posted bail, then released from Fresno County Jail after 3 this morning. Yesterday, a judge reduced Spores' bail from $1.5 million to $150,000. Spores' lawyer argued they've been improperly charged and therefore should have a lower bail. Spores faces multiple charges, including murder and driving under the influence. She is accused of killing 15-year-old Rashid Al-Hakim Jr. in a hit-and-run crash that happened in October. Well, the president's surveying damage from historic storms in California. Fox's Jared Halpern has more from the White House.
Damage throughout Central California is expected to total several $100 million or more, FEMA Director Deanne Criswell told reporters aboard Air Force One.
These storms are coming with hurricane strength winds. They're also making incredible storm surge-like conditions with the surf, and so they felt like it was being hit by hurricane after hurricane.
Damage is reported in 41 of California's 58 counties. At least 20 people have been killed in a series of weather events since late December known as atmospheric rivers. At the White House, Jared Halpern, Fox News.
Now the forecast from Fox 26's Justin Willis.
Clearing skies this afternoon with highs right around 50. And then we have a freeze warning in effect for tomorrow morning. Goes from Merced County down past the west side of Fresno County. There's also a freeze watch for the entire San Joaquin Valley through Monday. Temps during this time could get as low as 28 degrees overnight on the valley floor. For KMJ from the Fox 26 Weather Center, I'm Justin Willis.
With news on the hour, on the app, and when it breaks, and always streaming at KMJNow.com. I'm Jim Miller for News Talk 580, 105.9 KMJ.
And taking a look at your Thursday afternoon traffic, Tulare County, Road 156, Avenue 196. There has been a collision with no injuries. Merced area, Highway 140, North Gurr Road. There is a collision there, no injuries. At Porterville area, Road 192, Avenue 88, a collision with no injuries. And West Lincoln and South Marks in the Fresno area, there is a telephone pole leaning over the highway. With KMJ Traffic, I'm Ron McCary.
Buildings Unlimited will be celebrating 20 years serving Central California and the West Side. Buildings Unlimited, specializing in concrete tilt warehousing, cold storage, processing facilities, and commercial pre-engineered metal buildings. Buildings Unlimited is your single point of contact from design to the completion, proudly featuring new core steel, manufactured in the USA. Buildings Unlimited, where the only limit is your imagination. Call our experienced team for a free consultation at 559-485-9948 or visit us at buildingsunlimited.net.
Samba to big-time winning.
And fabulous fun.
It's Chauncey Gold and the $650,000 Rio Carnival of Riches.
Dance to win January 2nd through February 24th. Only at Chauncey Gold Resort and Casino.
I am a very happy camper because I get to tell you about the Noble Brothers Truck Accessory Center. Yeah, exactly the same place I was talking to you about 15, 20 years ago. Do you know this local company is 42 years old? 42 years dabbling with trucks. I think they know what they're doing. And right now, I need to address you people that have companies and you people who are farmers with fleet vehicles. This is an area where the Noble Brothers have really carved out their expertise. Whether it's cabinets, truck racks, ladder racks, toolboxes, van interiors, van shelving, and a lot of it. Remember, I use the F word, fleet. If you have fleet needs, you need the Noble Brothers Truck Accessory Center. Two of them, one out in Sunnyside, the other one on Blackstone near Sierra. I got to know them when they turned a Jeep Wrangler of mine into a masterpiece, and I just got another Jeep. And they're doing it all over again. I can't wait for the finished product. Click nobletruck.com. Noble, N-O-B-I-L-E. If it's a pickup, a van, a Jeep, oh, even a fifth wheel, you totally need the Noble Brothers Truck Accessory Center since 1980.
This report is sponsored by calhope.org.
Life is uncertain. It's okay to feel stressed, anxious, worried, or frustrated. CalHope can help. Access CalHope's free and secure mental health resources. Call 833-317-4673 or live chat at calhope.org.
Teresi tackles Fresno and California issues every day. Philip Teresi on News Talk 580 1059 KMJ.
Rolling through your 4 o'clock hour on KMJ. I'm Philip Teresi. Appreciate you guys hanging out. The staggering irresponsibility and the deferral of any sort of recognition of their role in this story, this family of this 6-year-old that shot his teacher, it really bothers me. Now, they say that the 6-year-old is receiving treatment at a hospital, and apparently he does have some sort of special needs situation going on. But the family, in this statement coming through a spokesperson, says, "We continue to pray for his teacher's full recovery and for her loved ones who are undoubtedly upset and concerned. At the same time, we love our son and are asking that you please include him and our family in your prayers." Meanwhile, the 25-year-old teacher that their 6-year-old shot was just released from the hospital and is going to continue to receive outpatient treatment through the Riverside Health System. Their statement says, Ms. Warner continues her recovery as an outpatient with the support of family, friends, and health professionals. And again, the other consequence besides this 25-year-old woman having to recover from a gunshot wound inflicted by a 6-year-old is that the district is putting metal detectors everywhere, and you've got 20 other children that were in that classroom. I don't remember a whole lot about being 6. I remember a little bit. I was in Mrs. Berninski's class at a school in Cupertino. My girlfriend at the beginning of the year was Kathy. My girlfriend at the end of the year was Michelle. My friend David Carlton knocked out his 2 front teeth running into a basketball pole on the blacktop playground. And during arts and crafts in February, I sliced my head open running in the classroom, tripping on a milk crate full of tempera paint, and snagging the edge of the chalkboard ledge, and I've still got the scar on my forehead. If you were watching on video, it's that shiny mark right there. That's from first grade, from running in the classroom. That's about what I remember from first grade. That's, you know, handful of stitches aside, I'd say that probably that's a pretty normal first grade experience. There's 20 kids that what they're going to remember about first grade is the time their classmates showed up, took out a gun, and shot their teacher. And these people are appealing to the better nature of the Christians in the community, while refusing to accept responsibility for failing to have secured their firearm. Now, look, I know that there's all different attitudes and experiences about gun ownership. And I know that there's all different education levels. And I know that there's kids out there who at 6 years old could be trusted to take a carbine out into the back 40 to target shoot, and they'd be just fine. I know that there's kids who can be taught and can be trained to not touch mom and dad's stuff no matter what it is. I know that can happen. I also know that as a gun owner, I believe very sincerely that the responsibility for managing, maintaining, securing those firearms rests on my shoulders, period, full stop. Now, look, my wife chooses to share that responsibility with me. She chooses to take an interest in how we do this because she's a responsible person, because she's my partner. I bought those guns. They're registered in my name. I am responsible for them, period. If God forbid something happens with them, short of somebody breaking into my house, stealing them, which again would require a tremendous effort, but it's not out of the question. There are people capable of breaking into safes. There are people capable of getting past alarms. There are people that are willing to, I guess, shoot my dogs. It's within the realm of possibility somebody could forcefully, violently extract those things and do something out of my control. But I've done as much as I can short of putting them in a bank vault to make sure that that doesn't happen. And certainly my kids have always been at the front of the list of considerations for that. But this family, to just, oh, well, we secured it. We don't know what happened. We're cooperating with authorities to learn what happened. You didn't check. You didn't look at the locks. You didn't look at the safe. You didn't make sure that the ammo was stored out of reach. You didn't make sure that the weapon was someplace where a 6-year-old couldn't slip it into their backpack and take it to school. You didn't do the job. And I know that this was a statement that was crafted in part with the assistance of an attorney, and that any acknowledgement of anything even resembling culpability or responsibility is going to be completely antithetical to whatever it is their defense counsel is going to tell them to do. But it would have been a far better thing to have simply said nothing at all. Because while I think all of us, what we want to hear is a terrible thing happened. We are sorry. We are going to do better. We are going to get our child help. We are going to help this teacher be whole again. That's what we want to hear. That's what in a sane society, in a self-responsible family, that's what would be said. But these people are going to hedge against litigation. These people are going to hedge against liability. It would have been better to have said nothing at all. Would it seem aloof? Would it seem detached? Yeah. But to come out and say that, oh, we secured the gun, we don't know what happened. It's setting a terrible, terrible example for people who may not have the experience, the training, the education with owning firearms to understand you are responsible. If you bought that gun, you are responsible for it. Period. And that doesn't mean that I expect everybody to lock all their guns up the way that I have. It doesn't mean that I expect everybody to impress upon their kids, no, a million times no, don't touch it. And I don't want my kids to be scared. Both of my kids have learned to shoot. Both of them enjoy target shooting. Neither of them have any interest in hunting or taking lives. But handgun goes bang is fun, and I'm very comfortable with that level of appreciation, because they also know that it's dangerous as hell. And so they don't play with it. They don't fool with it. To have said nothing at all would have been better than this. To claim that you did the thing that you obviously didn't do. I would, if I was this 25-year-old's family, I would be apoplectic. There isn't enough yelling and banging on the desk in the world to express how I would feel if Abigail Zwerner was my daughter, my wife, my niece. These people have turned their child into a cautionary tale. And my prayer, besides for Mrs. Zwerner and for all of these children that are going to have to work through whatever it is that they experienced, my prayer is that one more person sees this story and goes, oops, you know what? Maybe I will go ahead and get that safe. Oops, maybe I will go ahead and get that trigger lock. All right. When we get back, we've got an art gallery owner who is now being arrested on battery charges. He was spraying a homeless woman with a garden hose. It's not very nice. His frustration is obvious, and he's been very above board about it. Was arresting him on battery charges the right thing to do? And is allowing this woman to continue to live this way? Is that the right thing to do? It's the Afternoon Drive at News Talk 580, 105.9 KMJ.
And taking a look at Thursday afternoon traffic in the Merced area, southbound 99 at LeGrand Avenue. There is a traffic hazard of some sort. In the Hanford area, westbound 198 at the 12th Avenue off-ramp, there's a collision. No injuries there. Southbound 99 at Ventura and Fresno, there's a report of a fire of some sort. We don't know specifically what kind. Tulare County, Road 156, Avenue 156, there's been a collision with no injuries. And in the Merced area, Highway 140 and North Gurr Road, a collision there with no injuries. With KMJ Traffic, in for Greg Lane, I'm Ron McCary.
Samba to big-time winning.
And fabulous fun.
It's Chauncey Gold and the $650,000 Rio Carnival of Riches.
Dance to win January 2nd through February 24th. Only at Chauncey Gold Resort and Casino.
Conventional farms of all sizes, managed by hardworking farmers and PCAs, are benefiting from the unique dark blue liquid formulation Multifix. What if your short 15-minute call leads to cost savings or a 5 to 10% income increase? Visit multifix.com and see how farmers have had significant increases in their crops. Wine and table grapes thrive with high Brix and large crops. Citrus trees develop massive root flush and dark green leaves. Alfalfa increases 1.5 more tons per acre. Pistachio trees, 47 years old, have extra large leaves, creating more photosynthesis. For a reasonable cost, Multifix clients on every crop get economic benefits with guaranteed returns. Check out the phenomenal university trial, releasing tied-up nutrients, plus info about microbiome and feeding your beneficial soil microbes as an optimum way for healthier soils and plants. Simply call 559-651-5050 or multifix.com. Please mention KMJ for extra special pricing. Again, 559-651-5050 or multifix.com.
Now is the time to purchase multi-peril and named peril insurance for your grape and table grape crops, stone fruit, cherries, and olives. Whether freeze, hail, or any other weather perils are of a concern, Delana Bennick & Associates has various plans to offer according to your needs. Insure now for private freeze coverage for wine, raisin, or table grapes, and soon for crop hail on stone fruit. January 31st is sales closing date for multi-peril insurance. At Delana Bennick & Associates, they also offer competitive rates on farm property, workers' comp, liability, and auto insurance, both commercial and personal. It's time to save money, so call them for a quote today and see if you qualify for company discounts now available. Remember, sales closing for multi-peril is January 31st. Call Delana Bennick & Associates today at 559-448-9580. Remember, they know crop insurance, being growers themselves, and insuring growing your crops for over 30 years. Also, remember to eat more California-grown raisins.
Susan, I'm sorry I'm late. Traffic is terrible.
It sure is. But on top of that, gas prices have been skyrocketing. I can't believe how expensive gas has gotten recently.
Prices at the pump are up, but I never pay full price for gas anymore. I just use the free Upside app that pays you cash back for every gallon of gas you buy.
Wait a minute. Are you saying you actually get paid cash when you buy gas with the Upside app?
Yes, I get real cash back every time I buy gas.
And does that actually add up to anything?
I've made around $200.
Wow, that's serious extra cash. I'm downloading the free Upside app now.
Download the free Upside app to earn real cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code CLEAN for an extra 25 cents per gallon cash back on your first fill-up. You can cash out anytime right to your bank account, to PayPal, or an e-gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code CLEAN for a 25 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code CLEAN for 25 cents per gallon cash back on your first fill-up.
California is in one of the worst droughts ever. Is your well almost dry, or is it dry? Are you on a waiting list to have a well drilled? Have you been turned away from other drilling companies who can't handle the hard rock drilling conditions in your area? This is a major epidemic, and we have your solution. Strickland Well Drilling is here for you. With over 2 decades of experience specializing in residential, agricultural, and hard rock drilling, Strickland Well Drilling proudly serves Fresno, Tulare, Kings, and Madera counties. Don't wait. Make the call today at 352-7228. Again, 352-7228. Or for more information, visit StricklandWellDrilling.com. Whether it's the soft, sandy soils of the west, the clay and cobble of the east, or the hard rock mountainous terrain, Strickland Well Drilling has the equipment and expertise to handle your individual water well needs. Access to clean water is vital, and Strickland Well Drilling knows you can't afford to wait. Call for a no-cost detailed estimate today. Strickland Well Drilling, dedicated to keep the valley flowing. Make the call today, 352-7228, or visit StricklandWellDrilling.com.
It's a new year, and KMJ has a new app. Get it now at the App Store by searching KMJ 580.
Five o'clock approaching fast on your afternoon drive. The News Talk 580, 105.9 KMJ. I'm Philip Teresi. Glad you guys are hanging out this afternoon. Phone's open for your calls, 490-5858, or toll-free 800-776-5858. Police in San Francisco say that they have arrested Shannon Collier Gwynn. This was the man seen on video last week spraying a homeless woman with a garden hose out in front of the art gallery that he owns in San Francisco. District Attorney Brooke Jenkins announced that her office had issued an arrest warrant for the 71-year-old Mr. Gwynn. He is charged with misdemeanor battery. D.A. Jenkins indicated that Gwynn, the owner of the Foster Gwynn Art Gallery in the Jackson Square neighborhood, is alleged to have intentionally and unlawfully sprayed the unidentified victim with water on January 9th. Police said that Gwynn was arrested at about 3:30 in the afternoon out in front of his gallery, same location where the spraying incident took place. Video of the incident went viral, and there was a lot of folks in San Francisco that were outraged by the whole thing. D.A. Jenkins wrote, "The alleged battery of an unhoused member of our community is completely unacceptable. Mr. Gwynn will face appropriate consequences for his actions." She also said that vandalism that was seen and reported at the art gallery is likewise unacceptable. Two wrongs don't make a right, said the district attorney. This follows an investigation of the incident by the San Francisco Police Department. Gwynn was booked into San Francisco County Jail. Bail set at $2,500. If found guilty, he could face up to 6 months in jail and a $2,000 fine. Now, when the police responded to the initial dispute back in the first week of January, both parties had declined further police action at the time. KTVU Fox 2 interviewed Mr. Gwynn following the incident. He apologized and he indicated that he had snapped. Gwynn said that he had previously offered the woman a place to sleep outside his doorway for a few days. According to Mr. Gwynn, he became frustrated when the woman would not move. She would not get out of the doorway of his business. And apparently, she had been a bit of a problem in the neighborhood. She was known to the community. And while crisis response teams had responded on multiple occasions to try and get this woman to accept services, it took until the spraying incident for her to finally embrace that offer. Look, what this guy did wasn't right. She's homeless. She's mentally ill. She's not living a good life. She was also known to walk around the neighborhood naked as a jaybird, screaming her lungs out and harassing people coming in and out of the businesses. And again, Gwynn had allowed her to stay in front of his business, in his doorway, for several days, hoping that she would accept services. And rather than accepting services, she made it impossible for him to open his gallery and function. I understand why people are outraged by this guy doing this. I understand why he was frustrated, why he snapped. I hope that this lady gets the help that she needs now, that this much attention has been brought to the situation. I'm not sure this dude needs to do so much as a night in jail. Pay a fine, maybe pay some kind of recompense to this unfortunate soul. Yeah, I don't know that San Francisco is going to be improved by reacting to somebody losing their patience with incarceration. If you got a take on this, I'll take your calls, 490-5858 or 800-776-5858. We got an update of headlines on the way with Jim Miller. Another look at your afternoon drive with Ron McCary. And your trending topics at 5 o'clock on the way on KMJ. Don't move.
Missed part of the show? Get the Afternoon Drive podcast at KMJNow.com or by searching KMJ's Afternoon Drive in Amazon Music or Stitcher.
Hey, it's me, Ray Appleton. Happy New Year. Go buy a car. If you can find one. If you can find one where inflation has not jacked the price through the heavens. I actually should change my intonation and say, Happy New Year! Fresno Acura has cars. And the prices are not obscenely bumped up to appease the inflation gods so some dealer can put a couple of extra bucks back in their pocket. Inventory was hard to find at Fresno Acura in 2022. It was not a good year. But 2023 is beginning to look up, and the inventory is looking better than it has in a long time. The ownership of Fresno Acura, dear friends of mine, they've seen it all. They've been through it all since back in 1990 to whatever. Or was it 1980 something? They put me in my first Acura in 1992, and I'm still driving one. New inventory. You certainly can order the Acura of your choice. Great previously owned inventory. That's looking nice. Yeah, it's not been easy, but dealing with Fresno Acura, it's still a very honest thing to do. Think about that. They're on Palm, just north of Herndon.
I always wanted to learn Spanish, but I never thought I'd have the time. Then I discovered Babbel.
Babbel's lessons are fun. They only take like 10 or 15 minutes, and in 3 weeks, presto, you're starting to speak another language, like magic.
I love that Babbel's lessons aren't just robots talking. They're voiced by native speakers, so you get the pronunciation just right.
If you want to learn a language, there's no faster, easier, better way than
Babbel.
Babbel.
Babbel. Go to Babbel.com to try for free. That's BABBEL.com. Babbel.com.
Folks, there have been some fumbles on the way to the big game, but he's not getting some help to get it done tonight. Here's the throw. He might go all the way. Touchdown!
Regain and optimize your sexual performance. See what Pacific Men's Clinic can do to help that bedroom touchdown. Pacific Men's Clinic's safe and pain-free, clinically proven procedure breaks up plaque and stimulates the growth of healthy new blood vessels. Call for your free consultation now at 559-550-6771. That's 559-550-6771.
Samba to big-time winning.
And fabulous fun.
It's Chauncey Gold and the $650,000 Rio Carnival of Riches.
Dance to win January 2nd through February 24th. Only at Chauncey Gold Resort and Casino.
News Talk, 580 AM, 1059 FM, KMJ, Fresno, a Cumulus Media station.
KMJ.
It's 5 o'clock in Fresno. I'm Joe Miller in the KMJ News Center. A man was sentenced for a 2021 deadly shooting in Visalia today, according to Tulare County DA's office on July 28th of 2021. A dispute broke out at the Bolero Bowling Alley. They say two 25-year-olds, Derek Patel and Elazar Guerrera, accused the group of stealing a wallet. Later that night, the two caught up with the group near the intersection of Caldwell and Mooney, fired a single shot, striking a man in the neck. He was pronounced dead at the scene. That same bullet struck a second person. Detectives able to find the alleged missing wallet back at the bowling alley following the deadly shooting. The following day, officials say both suspects were found in Bakersfield. Patel sentenced back in May of 2021. He'll serve 25 years to life plus 3 years and 8 months. On November of 2022, Guerrera pled guilty to second-degree murder and assault with a firearm. Today, the Tulare County Superior Court sentenced him to 15 years to life in prison. A 46-year-old driver killed in an overnight high-speed crash in Fresno. KMJ's Liz Kern has more.
The CHP spotted a speeding BMW just before 2 a.m. on Thursday, going more than 85 miles per hour and driving erratically on the 168 by Ashland Avenue. They say they tried to pull over the driver, but he took off on the 168 interchange and they lost him. He was driving around 140 miles per hour. A short time later, the CHP found the BMW crashed on the Ashland off-ramp. The man was ejected from the vehicle and died at the scene. It's not known at this time if drugs or alcohol were factors in the crash. Liz Kern, KMJ News.
Superintendent of Clovis Unified School District stepping down to the end of the school year. Emir O'Brien announced this morning she'll retire from her position in June. She has served as superintendent since 2017. The nation's largest farm organization and other groups sue the government over new rules dealing with water on cropland. KMJ Ag Director Don York reports.
The American Farm Bureau Federation is mounting a legal challenge to the New Waters of the U.S. rule. Farm Bureau joins 17 other organizations representing agriculture, infrastructure, and housing, as well as county and state farm bureaus in filing the suit. Farm Bureau believes the New Waters of the U.S. rule gives the federal government sweeping authority over private lands, and Farm Bureau thinks this isn't what the clean water regulations were intended to do. There's talk that the new rule is vague and creates uncertainty for farmers, even if they're miles from the nearest navigable water. Don York, KMJ News.
Now the forecast from Fox 26's Justin Willis.
Clearing skies this afternoon with highs right around 50. And then we have a freeze warning in effect for tomorrow morning. Goes from Merced County down past the west side of Fresno County. There's also a freeze watch for the entire San Joaquin Valley through Monday. Temps during this time could get as low as 28 degrees overnight on the valley floor. For KMJ from the Fox 26 Weather Center, I'm Justin Willis.
With news on the hour, on the half, and when it breaks, and always streaming at KMJNow.com. I'm Jim Miller for News Talk 580, 105.9 KMJ.
And taking a look at our Thursday afternoon traffic, Highway 41 at Rocky Cut, that's in Madera County. There's been a collision there with no injuries in the Merced area. Southbound 99 at LeGrand Road, a traffic hazard of some sort in the Hanford area. Westbound 198 at the 12th Avenue off-ramp, there's been a collision with no injuries and a reported fire of some sort. This is at southbound 99 in Fresno at Ventura. There's a report of fire there, but we don't know specifically what is burning. With KMJ Traffic, I'm Ron McCary.
Samba to big-time winning.
And fabulous fun.
It's Chauncey Gold and the $650,000 Rio Carnival of Riches.
Dance to win January 2nd through February 24th. Only at Chauncey Gold Resort and Casino.
Now, the Valley's Afternoon Drive with Philip Teresi. Philip Teresi. Your calls, your tweets, and your voice are welcome right now on News Talk 580 105.9 KMJ.
5:05. It's News Talk 580 105.9 KMJ. Good afternoon. Welcome to hour number 4 of the Thursday installment of Your Afternoon Drive. The phone numbers remain 490-5858, toll free. You can join us at 800-776-5858. On Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, you'll find the show at Drive KMJ. And on Facebook Live at YouTube and Twitch.tv, you can watch it streaming live, also at Drive KMJ. Joshua Weekly is standing by to screen your calls this afternoon as we present your trending topics at 5 o'clock. A press conference was held yesterday as Fresno fire investigators teamed up with Valley Crime Stoppers to ask for the public's help finding the arsonists who started the fire at a strip mall in southeast Fresno, where 6 businesses, including Sunnyside Deli, were damaged on January 6th. The reward has increased to $5,000. You can call your tips into the Fresno Fire Arson Tip Line at 621-2776 or report anonymously through Crime Stoppers at 498-STOP. Climate activist and former Vice President Al Gore recently went on an unhinged rant, which involved him yelling about man-bear pig. No, climate change, boiling the oceans, causing freak weather occurrences like rain bombs and ultimately affecting humanity's ability for self-governance. If lawmakers on Capitol Hill remain deadlocked on raising the debt ceiling, the government could go into default and become essentially unable to pay its bills. That would directly impact the wallets of millions of Americans, including those who invest in the stock market and those who benefit from government programs such as Social Security and Medicaid. David Crosby, one of the architects of the 1960s folk psych country rock scene and a founding member of both the Byrds and Crosby, Stills and Nash, has died. The 2-time Rock and Roll Hall of Fame inductee was 81 years old. Experts say former President Donald Trump's brag on Truth Social that he took empty classified folders as cool keepsakes may be admissible evidence. Bank of America customers lit up social media yesterday with complaints that Zelle transactions weren't being processed and that money was missing from their bank accounts. Bill Halden, a spokesperson for Bank of America, acknowledged that there was a problem and said, quote, "We did have an issue where there was a delay in processing transactions. It was resolved earlier today so that all the transactions are now showing up in people's accounts." The family of the 6-year-old boy accused of shooting his teacher at a Virginia elementary school has spoken out for the first time, saying, quote, "Our family's always been committed to responsible gun ownership and keeping firearms out of the reach of children. The firearm our son accessed was secured." Despite that claim, the 25-year-old teacher was just released from the hospital this week and will continue to receive outpatient treatment for the foreseeable future. Following the San Francisco Police Department's investigation and a review of all the evidence provided, the San Francisco District Attorney's Office has issued an arrest warrant for Collier Gwynn. Mr. Gwynn is charged with misdemeanor battery for the alleged intentional and unlawful spraying of water on a woman experiencing homelessness who was living on the sidewalk in front of his gallery. That is your trending topics at 5 o'clock. For those stories and a lot more, get the podcast with Stitcher, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or Amazon Music anywhere you like to listen. Just search for KMJ's Afternoon Drive or visit KMJnow.com. Hit the podcast tab. Not only will you find me, but you'll find all kinds of good stuff from the rest of the KMJ team. Once again, phones are open for you at 490-5858. And toll-free, you can join in at 800-776-5858, where we find James. Welcome to KMJ, sir.
Hey, Phil. Yeah, well, I don't agree with this guy's actions. I mean, everybody's got their breaking point. Here's a guy that's a tax-paying citizen. He's trying to earn a living. He's being impeded by this woman. I don't understand why the San Francisco Police Department didn't remove her. You know, he's paying first-world income taxes, and he's got third-world living conditions and third-world infrastructure. It's ridiculous.
James, I agree with you completely. Look, homelessness in San Francisco has been a bane for 2 centuries. I understand why homeowners and business owners are frustrated. I understand why a person would get angry and act out this way. Spraying her with the hose was wrong. If San Francisco police, if all of the millions and millions of dollars that the city of San Francisco, the county of San Francisco, the people of San Francisco spend on homelessness can't help this woman get out of the way, should this guy spend so much as a minute in a jail cell?
Absolutely not.
Now, to the human side of this is a broken soul who is not capable of caring for herself. Should this guy extend to her some kindness? Should he?
And I think he did, because he allowed her to stay there for a while. But apparently she wanted her welcome.
It's the part where she would not clear the way so he could open his doors. That's what sent him over the edge. I think that the fact that he snapped and he sprayed her with a hose, because she's sitting on the ground and she's obviously not mentally well. Like it's really, really clear.
Yeah, from a human standpoint, yeah. I mean, that hurts to watch that. It's pathetic. But I don't know what we can do for these people. They don't want to help themselves. I don't know what the answer is.
Yeah, James, I don't know either. I'm with you. I'm torn. I don't think that this guy should spend a minute in jail. As far as the $2,000 fine, I would be a lot more comfortable with him spending that money, being fined that money, if I believed that it was going to go to the medication that this woman needs to be in possession of herself. If it was going to go to paying for her to be in a shelter where she's going to get care and she's going to get fed and she's going to be connected with the kinds of people that can help her live a better life. And this is that horrible, horrible shame of homelessness. So many of the people who are homeless, and I we've talked about this many times. I do think that you've got a group of people that courtesy of Clint Olivier and his much maligned op-ed in the Fresno Bee from 3 years ago, I think that you've got a group of people that in my mind, I call homeless. And they are people who are suffering. And sometimes it's a person who's down on their luck. They lost their job. They couldn't pay their rent. Sometimes it's a person who's suffering mental illness and can't pull themselves together to function in any meaningful way. And sometimes it's a person who's a hopeless addict who is accelerating towards their rock bottom, whatever that may be. And those people, they need help. They need help. They need services. They need to be put on a better track. They need somebody to help them get out of that. And then there's criminal vagrants who don't want to live within the rules of society, don't want to abide civil decency, who they want to get drunk, they want to get high, they want to commit crimes, they want to do anything but what they're told, and they're criminals. And they're criminal vagrants. And I think that the solution for criminals is incarceration and rehabilitation. And San Francisco is this, we have homelessness in Fresno. And especially if you go into downtown, if you go to certain areas on the busy corridors where there's panhandling to be done, there's begging to be done, there's food to be found. You can see it in this town, and you can see it in just about every neighborhood in this town. Now, don't forget, there's been a homeless encampment behind the parking structure at River Park that has gone untouched. I've seen people, personally, met people who were living on the San Joaquin River and coming up into Woodward Park to charge their cell phones and use the bathrooms. And sometimes you have educated people that took a bad path. Sometimes you have people who are down on their luck. Sometimes you've got those criminal vagrants. But San Francisco has become this really unfortunate example of the grift of homelessness, Inc. This constellation of, and I think that there's actually a larger number of people who really mean to do well, who really want to help. But I think that they are the foot soldiers for opportunistic cynics who recognize that if you continue to make homelessness more comfortable, if you continue to make homelessness more survivable, if you continue to require that the rest of society put up with it, that they can feather their nests, frequently at taxpayer expense, while claiming to be service providers for folks who have real needs. And that brings me back to something that I've been saying for years. There's only two solutions to homelessness, real homelessness. Because again, the criminal vagrants, we just We just have to enforce our laws. Treat criminals like criminals. Incarcerate them, rehabilitate them, escalate the punishment when they refuse to comply. Make it uncomfortable. Either they'll figure it out or eventually they'll do something stupid enough that they get taken out of society for a meaningful span. But with homelessness, there's two routes. And one of those routes is that Darwinian remove the services, remove all of the conveniences, pull Homelessness Inc. away, and let these people figure it out. And what's heartbreaking about that is, while yes, some of them will go, "Oh my God, I'm hungry. I've got to get a job. Oh my God, I'm cold. I've got to pull myself together and get off the street." Some of them will die, and that's why I call it the Darwinian approach. And it's heartbreaking because there's people who cannot be helped, who will not take help, who are not capable of caring for themselves. And that takes you to the other one, that humanist approach. And unfortunately, that's this double-edged sword, because on the one hand, you've got this very caring, loving, we are simply going to take these people and we are going to manage them and manage their lives from cradle to grave. We're going to raise their kids for them. We're going to make sure that they're bathing themselves and managing basic hygienic needs and basic mental health care needs. And we're going to do it for their entire lives. And we're probably going to have to do it for their kids' entire lives. And we call it humanism because that's a nicer word than fascism. But when you take over human beings' lives, when you remove their freedom and instead dictate to them how they will live forever, it is fascism. But the middle route that Homelessness Inc. continues to insist is the way to handle this. It's never, ever going to solve the problem. And as long as we continue to willfully ignore the solution to the problem, which is really education, opportunity, affordable housing, we are going to continue to have those grifters who come in and capitalize on the appearance of providing help. And we're going to continue to have people like this lady stripping off her clothes, running down the street, screaming and yelling, scaring the hell out of everybody who is in the neighborhood to do business, and frustrating everybody who's in that neighborhood who's trying to simply function within the boundaries of civil society. There isn't an easy answer. There isn't a simple solution. And I know that what I'm saying is not kind. Is it kind to continue to allow people to live like this? And is it kind to continue to expect the rest of society to bottle up that frustration? What this guy did was wrong, and a price needs to be paid for that. Throwing him in jail is not going to solve this lady's homelessness.
And looking at our Thursday afternoon traffic, Highway 41 at Ready Cut, that is north of Fresno up in Madero County. There's been a collision there, no injuries. Some cleanup going on. Merced, southbound 99 at LeGrand, there's a traffic hazard of some sort. They're trying to get that cleared up. In the Hanford area, westbound 198 at the 12th Avenue off-ramp, there's cleanup after a collision with no injuries. A reminder, State Route 178 is currently closed through Kern Canyon east to Bakersfield. It's due to a rock slide. Caltrans says it will remain closed through tomorrow at least. With KMJ Traffic, in for Greg Lane, I'm Ron McCary.
We always fix what you need fixed. Auto House of Clovis.
Hey y'all, this is Gabe Navarro with a pro tip from Auto House of Clovis. Your vehicle is one of your biggest investments and one of the few items you need to be able to depend on. Your vehicle has been there for you through thick and thin, and we intend to keep it that way. We know times are a little uncertain these days, but our commitment to quality, reliable service is always guaranteed. At Auto House of Clovis, we aim to make the not-so-enjoyable process of automotive repair as easy as possible, so your only worry is what to make for dinner. Give our team a call at 559-292-2028. And if you're looking to join Daryl and his team, we're taking applications for technician positions of all skills and interests.
We always fix what you need fixed. Auto House of Clovis.
Operations are minimizing. The demand for storage is higher than ever, and driving to an off-property storage facility isn't exactly practical. 20 to 45-foot repurposed shipping containers for personal and work storage are great. Container Stop will deliver yours to you, but Container Stop doesn't stop there. What about a tack room for equestrian use, utility room for a gym, auto or carpentry shop with roll-up door? Here's the coolest part. Container Stop can even deliver custom home space containers for construction site offices, working from home space, studio use, or even adding a living space. Yeah, complete with finished floors, walls, windows, bathroom, kitchenette, heat, and AC. Hard to imagine? Then don't. Visit ContainerStop.com and see for yourself. They have what you need, or will literally make it. Looking for short or long-term storage solutions? Stop. Nobody does storage containers better than Container Stop. Their website's easy. It's their name, then .com. ContainerStop.com.
Here's the unfiltered truth about water softeners. Softeners add sodium without filtering water. Softeners are old-fashioned, costly, and maintenance-heavy. There's a better solution, a LifeSource salt-free water system. LifeSource systems provide filtered, delicious water from every tap without filters or any maintenance. LifeSource salt-free systems are perfect for areas banning softeners, and that's the unfiltered truth. Call 559-330-1850 for a free consultation or visit LifeSourceWater.com. LifeSource, taste and feel the difference.
I'm Dr. Erica Pond with the California Department of Public Health, reminding you of ways to help stop the spread of COVID and other viruses this winter. Boost your immunity by staying up to date with COVID boosters and flu shots. Wash your hands often with soap and warm water for at least 20 seconds. Cover your mouth when you cough or sneeze. And protect others by staying home and testing for COVID when sick. More tips at covid19.ca.gov. Brought to you by CDPH.
Wendy's is continuing its season of giving by bringing back its sweet Wendy's Frosty Key Tags. Purchase a Frosty Key Tag for just $2 now through January 29th and receive one free Junior Frosty with any purchase every single day in 2023. The campaign supports the Dave Thomas Foundation for Adoption and their commitment to finding safe, loving, and permanent homes for children waiting in foster care. Get your Frosty Key Tag in restaurants, on the Wendy's mobile app, and at davethomasfoundation.org.
Inflation goes up. Do you feel like you need to refinance your car to fill up the gas tank? What if 2 years ago someone offered to sell you a lifetime supply of gas at $2.75 a gallon, but you told them no? Today, you would be kicking yourself. Right now, Planet Solar has that same offer for you on your electric bill. As inflation goes up, so does your utility bill. Lock in your energy prices today with a new Planet Solar system. Planet Solar is locally owned and operated in Clovis. They're big enough to offer you all the best brands and in-house financing, but small enough to give you the personal service you deserve. Call Planet Solar to find out how to lock in your electricity costs today. You'll be glad you did. Call them at 559-228-9245 or find them on the web at planetsolar.com. That's 228-9245 or planetsolar.com. License number 938313.
Samba to big-time winning.
And fabulous fun.
It's Chauncey Gold and the $650,000 Rio Carnival of Riches.
Dance to win January 2nd through February 24th. Only at Chauncey Gold Resort and Casino.
Well, to your 5 o'clock hour on the afternoon drive at News Talk 580, 105.9 KMJ. Is it time for the Santos report? So, this congressman out of New York, if you were listening to the Ray Appleton program with special guest host Clint Olivier earlier today, you may have heard he and I going back and forth on this. And Clint is right. Risking a Republican seat in the House right now is dangerous. It's risky. In the event that George Santos were to do the honorable thing and resign, or if the more likely outcome is that George Santos is arrested and prosecuted for campaign finance violations and is ejected from the Congress on the grounds of being convicted of those crimes, a special election will be called. It is not a matter of an appointment made by the governor of New York. There's nothing like that. They have to have a special election. And my feeling is that the Republican Party, both the RNC and the New York State GOP, they need to start looking for and grooming the correct candidate now. They need to have somebody who has a reasonable resume. I wouldn't even go so far as to say an impeccable resume, but a reasonable resume, and who is not going to get caught in a lie. Not one. This guy cannot have lied to his wife about how her butt looks in her jeans. He has got to be the most honest human being on earth to begin to reduce the poison that is the legacy of George Santos. So we'll start with Mom. George Santos claims that his mother was at her office inside the South Tower of the World Trade Center on 9/11. He said that a few years after the attack on America, but by the grace of God she survived, she died of cancer. The implication being that she's one of the many people whose health was destroyed by exposure to the pile. A Freedom of Information Act request advanced by a genealogical researcher named Alex Kalzareth, reported on by the Washington Post, shows that George Santos' mother, Fatima Caruso de Volder, left the United States to live in Rio de Janeiro in 1999. She was admitted to the United States in April of 2003. In 2001, while Mrs. de Volder was living in Brazil, she claimed that her green card had been stolen. She later applied for re-entry and was readmitted to the United States in 2003. She indicated that she was unemployed or retired rather, and that she was going to live in Woodside, New York, a neighborhood in Queens. So the records show that Mrs. de Volder, George's mother, was not in the United States from 1999 to 2003. Nevertheless, George Santos' congressional campaign website says, quote, George's mother was in her office in the South Tower on September 11, 2001, when the horrific events of that day unfolded. She survived the tragic events on September 11th, but she passed away a few years later when she lost her battle to cancer. The campaign website says that she died a few years after the attacks. Mrs. de Volder died in 2016. Now, at this point, George Santos has lied about everything. He lied that his grandparents escaped the Holocaust, that they moved through Ukraine and escaped the Holocaust to come to this country. That was not true. We've got all the campaign finance questions. Lying about not just where he went, but that he went to college. Lying about where he worked, lying about his family's real estate holdings and his management of that. I'm not trying to get too heavy here, but I consider 9/11 to be one of those untouchable moments in our shared history. When the 9/11 truthers pop up, and they do from time to time, I have a very, very hard time keeping my patience. And I know that for the most part, these are either trolls or idiots who believe everything they see on the internet. And yet I still end up enraged by their nonsense. It is, in my opinion, a nearly untouchable shared tragedy. And to say that we were all moved by it, we were all harmed by it, we were all traumatized by it, absolutely. I was here. I was safe. I was living in an apartment in Clovis when 9/11 happened. I wasn't even awake until the second plane hit. And I can tell you every detail of my morning. I can tell you everything that happened. I can tell you about digging out an old Walkman to continue to listen with one earbud on, so that my then 3-year-old child could watch Teletubbies because there was nothing else on television. I remember it all. And I have heard a single human being ever successfully make a joke about what happened that day, and that was Joan Rivers, and the joke didn't even get out publicly until she was dead. Somebody lying about losing their mother, somebody lying about their mother surviving it and then succumbing to cancer, with all of the grief that our first responders and so many New Yorkers suffered directly, personally, immediately, intimately. To me, it's an unforgivable thing to lay a dishonest, bald-faced, manipulative claim on that of all things in our shared history. But it doesn't end there. When we get back, we're going to talk about a veteran, a dying dog, and the $3,000 that George Santos is alleged to have stolen from them. And then we'll talk about the drag thing.
KMJ News now.
It's 5:30 in Fresno. I'm Jim Miller. In the KMJ News Center, will bail significantly reduced for graduate student Lisa Spores after their attorney said his client has financial hardships. Fresno County Superior Court judge reduced the bail yesterday from over $1 million to $150,000. Spores charged with DUI and the murder of 15-year-old Hoover High School student Rashad Al Hakim Jr. Prosecutors say during arraignment, Spores under the influence of several drugs during the October 4th incident. Two boys now find themselves in juvenile hall after a stabbing took place Wednesday. According to Fresno police, they were called at about 8:30 at a fight at Echo and Weldon. Police say a fight broke out at Fresno High School. Afterwards, officers say two boys were stabbed and a possible suspect had fled the area. Thursday, Fresno police providing an update and say the two boys who were stabbed believed to be aggressors and the victim who fled acted in self-defense. Both teens placed in juvenile hall for assault by means likely to cause serious injury. A well-known actor has gone missing. Fox's Michelle Polino reports.
The British actor Julian Sands has gone missing while hiking near Mount Baldy in California's San Gabriel Mountains. The actor, who starred in Boxing Helena and A Room with a View, was reported missing last Friday in the Baldy Bowl area around 7:30 at night. This was during the atmospheric storms that had caused flooding and mudslides in the area. The San Bernardino County Sheriff's Department confirmed to Fox News Digital that ground crews conducting a search for Sands were called off due to avalanche risk and the weather conditions in the area. However, they eventually continued efforts. Sands' car has been found in the Mount Baldy area and was towed away Wednesday. Michelle Polino, Fox News.
Now the forecast from Fox 26's Justin Willis.
Clearing skies this afternoon with highs right around 50. And then we have a freeze warning in effect for tomorrow morning. Goes from Merced County down past the west side of Fresno County. There's also a freeze watch for the entire San Joaquin Valley through Monday. Temps during this time could get as low as 28 degrees overnight on the valley floor. For KMJ from the Fox 26 Weather Center, I'm Justin Willis.
with news on the hour, on the app, and when it breaks, and always streaming at KMJNow.com. I'm Jim Miller for News Talk 580, 105.9 KMJ.
And taking a look at traffic here on this Thursday, I-5 at Pinoche Road. There's a traffic hazard of some sort there. 2nd Street off-ramp, southbound 99. This is southbound 99, the 2nd Street off-ramp at the 76 station. There has been a hit and run with no injuries. And in Merced, southbound 99 at LeGrand Avenue, there is a traffic hazard of some sort. With KMJ Traffic, I'm Ron McCary.
Samba to big-time winning.
And fabulous fun.
It's Chauncey Gold and the $650,000 Rio Carnival of Riches.
Dance to win January 2nd through February 24th. Only at Chauncey Gold Resort and Casino.
Susan, I'm sorry I'm late. Traffic is terrible.
It sure is. But on top of that, gas prices have been skyrocketing. I can't believe how expensive gas has gotten recently.
Prices at the pump are up, but I never pay full price for gas anymore. I just use the free Upside app that pays you cash back for every gallon of gas you buy.
Wait a minute. Are you saying you actually get paid cash when you buy gas with the Upside app?
Yes, I get real cash back every time I buy gas.
And does that actually add up to anything?
I've made around $200.
Wow, that's serious extra cash. I'm downloading the free Upside app now.
Download the free Upside app to earn real cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code CLEAN for an extra 25 cents per gallon cash back on your first fill-up. You can cash out anytime right to your bank account, to PayPal, or an e-gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code CLEAN for a 25 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code CLEAN for 25 cents per gallon cash back on your first fill-up.
Ever wished your trees could speak? Well, they do. And with FineTech, you can start listening. In fact, as crop prices drop and water costs rise, there's never been a more crucial time to listen to your trees. FineTech connects growers to their trees, enabling enhanced visibility of their operation and helping them maximize yields while saving water. Contact us at FineTech.com and we'll connect you to growers that are listening to their trees. That's FineTech. PhyTech.com.
Chlorinated water is for swimming, not drinking or bathing. Cities add chlorine to your water, causing dry skin and hair. A LifeSource water system is the solution to your water worries. A LifeSource system filters your water from every tap, reducing the harsh taste and feel of chlorine and giving you softer skin and hair without maintenance, no salt, filters, or servicing. Call 559-330-1850 for a free consultation or visit LifeSourceWater.com. LifeSource, taste and feel the difference.
My friend and I are taking a trip to Mexico this year, but neither of us speak Spanish. So we downloaded Babbel and started learning Spanish fast.
Want to start getting conversational in another language? In as little as 3 weeks, Babbel's quick 10-minute lessons were designed by language experts to be the most efficient and effective way to learn a new language.
¿Cómo te llamas?
¿Cómo te llamas?
Babbel, language for life, celebrating 10 million subscriptions sold. Now try Babbel for free at Babbel.com. That's BABBEL.com.
Every day, people from all over Central California are discovering unbeatable savings at Own a Car Fresno. Most dealers can't match Own a Car when it comes to great value. We work hard to get you a car you can afford, whether you're a first-time buyer or have less than perfect credit. Bottom line, Own a Car offers some of the easiest financing, low down and monthly payments, a lifetime powertrain warranty, and one of the state's largest selections of popular vehicles. So join thousands of happy customers who've made us one of California's top-rated dealers. 500 down sales events. No score, no more. Onacar.com.
So you think you're gonna live your life alone, in darkness and seclusion? Yeah, I know. You've been out there and tried to mix with the animals, and it just left you full of humiliated confusion. But the feeling of loneliness never leaves you. It haunts you everywhere you go. And then you meet me, and your whole world changes. Because everything I say is everything you've ever wanted to hear. So you drop your defenses, and you drop all your fears. And you're so busy feeling good that you never question why things are going so well. You wanna know why? 'Cause I'm a liar! Yeah, I'm a liar! I'll tear your mind
Little Rollins band there. Liar. Felt appropriate while we're talking about George Santos. 5:40 on the afternoon drive. I'm Philip Teresi. It is still News Talk 580 and 105.9 KMJ. Ron, you're not a fan of Henry Rollins, huh? Did you try his spoken word stuff? Might be more your speed. All right. Good Lord. I forget every time. That dude's manic energy is just outside of my ability to match. We're talking about George Santos. He lied about his mom having survived 9/11 and subsequently died of cancer. He lied about where he went to college, that he went to college, where he's worked, what his family's worth. There's a handful of complaints that have been filed against him by watchdog groups because of potential alleged campaign finance violations. And then there's this. Richard Osthoff met George Santos when he was still going by the name Anthony DeVolder, which, by the way, DeVolder is Santos's mother's last name. Richard was going through a tough time in May of 2016. He'd been honorably discharged from the Navy in 2002, and he was homeless. He was living on the side of Route 9 in Howell, New Jersey, with his service dog, Sapphire. Sapphire, the service dog, was suffering from a life-threatening stomach tumor. Surgery to remove the tumor was expected to cost about $3,000. This poor guy living in his tent on the side of the highway couldn't afford that. But the vet tech took him aside and offered assistance through a pet charity called Friends of Pets United, run by Anthony DeVolder. This is an alias used by George Santos in the past. DeVolder set up a GoFundMe to raise funds for Sapphire the service dog. It hit the goal of $3,000. Then the account was closed, the fundraising page was deleted, and DeVolder, also known as George Santos, disappeared altogether. The service dog passed away in January of 2017, and Osthoff, now 47, never saw a penny of that donation money. Osthoff told the website Patch, "She never left my side in 10 years. I went through 2 bouts of seriously considering suicide, but thinking about leaving her saved my life. I loved that dog so much." They share screenshots of, "Click here to support Sapphire the Veteran Rescue" by Anthony DeVolder. Santos, of course, now claims to know nothing about this. Nevertheless, Osthoff's account, corroborated by a fellow veteran and a retired New Jersey police sergeant, Michael Bohl, who told Patch, the website they're talking to, that when he heard this happen, he tried to help Osthoff by reaching out to Santos. "I contacted him and I told him, 'You're messing with a veteran.'" Bull said that he told Santos, then going by DeVolder, that he needed to give back the money or use it to get Osthoff another dog. Bull says that formerly DeVolder, now Santos, was, quote, "totally uncooperative." Osthoff says that Santos requested he take Sapphire to a Queens veterinarian instead of a New Jersey practice because he had, quote, "credit with the practice in the Big Apple." The vet tech told Osthoff about Santos's charity, the one who told them about that, drove the dog and the veteran to the Queens practice, where a veteran then said that Sapphire's tumor was inoperable. Santos claims that he donated the $3,000 to other dogs because Sapphire wasn't a candidate for surgery and Osthoff didn't do things his way. This, according to a text exchange viewed by the reporter over at Patch. After that, Osthoff was never able to reach Santos again. There is no official record of the animal charity Friends of Pets United. It was never registered as a tax-exempt organization or a charity. There's another woman who is now saying she was scammed by the animal rescue group run by George Santos, then going by Anthony DeVolder. This woman claims that she was supposed to have been the beneficiary of a 2017 fundraiser in which Santos charged $50 per person. She says she never received a penny of the funds. She told the Times that Santos offered a bunch of excuses. Now, when speaking to the New York Post on Wednesday, Sergeant Bowl seemed to be in disbelief that the man who scammed his fellow veteran is now a congressman. Quote, I believe it's disheartening that a man that takes advantage of people in need has the ability to pass legislation. Santos denied ever knowing Osthoff when asked about the veteran's claims. Fake. No clue who this is. And finally, there's the drag thing. Pictures have emerged of George Santos in drag. He apparently was competing in Brazilian drag pageants 15 years ago. There's a couple of folks who have popped up to corroborate this story. One performer who is using the drag name Eula Richard says that she befriended the now congressman when he was performing in drag at the Pride Parade in a Rio de Janeiro suburb. 3 years later, he turned up for a drag beauty pageant in Rio proper. Another one of the drag queens who asked not to be named because he didn't want to screw up his chances, apparently, of continuing in the community, says that at one time, Santos aspired to be Miss Gay Rio de Janeiro. Once again, Santos on social media saying that, quote, claims that I am a drag queen or performed as a drag queen are categorically false. I will not be distracted nor fazed by this. I believe at this point, the fact that George Santos is denying it means that we know that it's gospel truth, right? It's not the fact that he performed in drag. Who cares what this guy did 15 years ago? It's that he's lying about it and that he's trying to brand himself once again as that staunch conservative on social issues, and he won't take ownership of this. It's the Afternoon Drive on KMJ. I'm Philip Teresi. One more to go, and the great one, Mark Levin, on the way at 6 o'clock. Don't move.
And taking one last look at traffic for this Thursday afternoon. Freeway 41 is the only Fresno area, Clovis area freeway that's still having quite a bit of congestion, so be careful there. This is particularly north of the 180. Visalia area, 6th Street at Merritt Drive, a collision with no injuries, and northbound 99 at Olive Avenue at the Chevron station there has been a hit and run with no injuries. With KMJ Traffic in for Greg Lane, I'm Ron McCary.
Samba through big-time winning.
And fabulous fun.
It's Chauncey Gold and the $650,000 Rio Carnival of Riches.
Dance to win January 2nd through February 24th. Only at Chauncey Gold Resort and Casino.
Hi folks, this is Roger from Evans Feed. I'd like to introduce Lonnie Hanna, Jack Hanna's nephew. He'll be honoring Jack's legacy by picking up the announcer reins for Evans Feed.
Thanks, Roger. That's some big boots to fill for sure. Just like the Evans family, I'm third generation raised in the Valley. While not a cowboy by trade, I love singing about the Western lifestyle. Now that I'm riding for the Evans brand, I'll be learning and sharing everything Evans has to offer, plus a few stories, a bit of history, and how Evans Feed is woven into this community.
The story of the nurse and the foot pain that nearly brought him down.
I feel like I'm giving people their lives back.
Robert lived to take care of his patients, but he couldn't do it unless he took care of his foot pain.
I have plantar fasciitis. It'll almost put you on your knees. That's how much it hurts.
His own recovery started when he got fitted for arch supports at the Good Feet store.
Now that I'm pain free, I can make these people feel better.
Can't beat that. Stop by or schedule your free fitting at goodfeet.com. The children's music and dance teacher who couldn't cha-cha.
I was always on my feet. It was just so painful.
Elisa couldn't let her students down, so she stepped up and went to the Good Feet store for personally fitted arch supports.
I would work an entire day, and my feet didn't hurt at the end of the day. That was when I knew, wow, these are different.
But the really good part?
It's good to be dancing together again.
Stop by or schedule your free fitting at goodfeet.com.
Step into your Good Feet store in Fresno, Merced, and Visalia. Good Feet, the official arch support of Fresno State Athletics.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack. Sure, you can post your job to some job board, but then all you can do is hope the right person comes along, which is why you should try ZipRecruiter for free at ziprecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter doesn't depend on candidates finding you. Its powerful technology identifies people with the right experience and actively invites them to apply to your job. You get qualified candidates fast. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you what you're looking for. The needle in the haystack.
4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate through the site within the first day. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free. Just go to this exclusive web address, ziprecruiter.com/free. That's ziprecruiter.com/free. ziprecruiter.com/free.
I'm Dr. Erica Pond with the California Department of Public Health. This winter, remember to protect yourself against COVID-19 and other winter viruses by getting your flu shot and COVID booster, testing for COVID if you feel sick, contacting your doctor about treatment if you test positive for COVID, and considering masking up in indoor public places. More tips at covid19.ca.gov. Brought to you by CDPH.
TNT Liberty Safe's January clearance sale is happening now, all month long while supplies last. The largest home, office, commercial, and gun safe showroom in the Central Valley. Hundreds of safes in stock to keep your handguns, long guns, coins, jewelry, and other precious belongings safe. Need your safe moved? Let the professionals move it. Visit TNTLibertySafe.com or stop by TNT's Clovis showroom, 2700 Clovis Avenue, next to Valley Rod and Gun, or call 559-291-4270. TNT, saving lives, one safe at a time.
Start your morning with news and the truth. Fresno's Morning News, 6 to 9 a.m. on KMJ and streaming at KMJNow.com.
Everything that happens in Fresno's got to run the gauntlet at KMJ. It is such a blessing for you all to have what you have. It's been 100 years of communicating with your community. There's nothing like that for 1,000 miles.
And so ends our broadcast day.
Ooh, rolling up quick on 6 o'clock. It's News Talk 580, 105.9 KMJ. I'm Philip Teresi. Thank you guys for hanging out today. If you missed any part of the show, grab the podcast. You'll find it on Stitcher, Spotify, Amazon Music, Apple Podcasts, anywhere you want to listen. Just search for KMJ's Afternoon Drive or head over to KMJNow.com. Hit that podcast tab. You'll find me and you'll find all kinds of great stuff from the entire KMJ team. Friday show coming up tomorrow. Couple interesting irons in the fire, including a transportation issue in Fresno Unified. Some parents are a little frustrated because we got a school here in town. About a third of the kids aren't able to get to school on time ever. And they're not getting a lot of action from the trustee in their area. So we'll be talking about that, along with whatever else comes flying through the collective consciousness. Two things I wanted to get to before I get out of here. Again, congratulations to Skip. Today was by proclamation in the city of Fresno, initiated by Councilman Mike Carbasi and co-signed by Mayor Dyer and the entire Fresno City Council. Today was Francis Skip Echeverria Day in Fresno, and a wonderful presentation happened at Fresno City Hall this morning at about 9 o'clock. Just a very, very cool moment for Skip and recognition of her hard work, not just on the radio for 2 decades, but all of the inroads and incredible service that she's provided as a mental health professional. Very proud of her, very excited for her. It was a neat moment for Skip, and I want to congratulate her for that. And again, to thank Mike Carbasi for lining it up and making it happen, because that was a very cool thing for him to do. especially since she's the one that subjected him to Tiger King there at the beginning of the pandemic. I also want to thank you guys. We had the latest trend come out, the mini ratings, and once again, KMJ's Afternoon Drive, the number one most listened to talk radio program in Central California. In our prime demographic, the number one program in Central California, and that means a lot. It really, really means a lot to me. This is a fun job, and it's a privilege for me to get to do it. And I don't get to do it if you guys aren't here, if you aren't listening, and you are. And that is, frankly, sometimes amazing to me because if you saw what a disaster we are behind the scenes sometimes. And yet it works. Somehow it works. And to be on top of the pile again, it feels really good. So thank you guys for that. It is sincerely appreciated that you continue to tune in. And hopefully you'll continue to tune in tomorrow afternoon for the Friday show. In the meantime, I'm going to get out of here. The great one, Mark Levin, is on the way. Before that, we'll hear from our friends at the Valley's Legends and Legacies, and we'll get an update of what's happening around the world from the Fox newsroom. I'll be back tomorrow afternoon at 2 o'clock on News Talk 580 and 105.9 KMJ. Thank you, guys. Really.
Part of the show? Get the Afternoon Drive podcast at kmjnow.com or by searching KMJ's Afternoon Drive in Apple Podcasts or Spotify.
The Valley's Legends and Legacies are brought to you as a public service by the family of Bill Tatham Sr. for you to experience the value of history as a learning opportunity to inspire your success today and as a spark of your imagination for the future.
Fort Miller, located on the south bank of the San Joaquin River in the shadow of the Sierra Nevada mountains, was the only military installation in Fresno County. In 1855, the woman who would become the first school teacher in the city of Fresno was born at the fort. Her parents had been residents of this primitive outpost for only a year, having arrived there while still on their honeymoon. By 1860, there was enough children at the fort and in the nearby town of Millerton to make a local school necessary. In the absence of a proper building, the first school in Fresno